Hashtag gets the worm, you early birds. Hashtag gets the worm. Enter to win some dragon shields. Gonna run that giveaway just as soon as we get started. Hit that like button. Hello?
How's it going?
Hello?
Are we live?
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What's up?
How's it going, man?
Cheers to everyone. Cheers to you, Jake. Howdy, everybody. Yo, I got a shout out. Quantum Mechanic coming through with 10 gifted like 30 minutes ago, maybe 15, and 10 gifted as the stream started.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Quantum's in for a penny, Quantum's in for a pound. 20 of you got memberships from Quantum tonight, and you need to say thank you. And we need to say all hail.
Yeah, all hail the Stream Monarch, Quantum Mechanic. And also, if you are, if you want to help us race to 69 likes, there are 77 of you watching. I'm sure a lot of you are recurring watchers. So thank you so much for coming back. We have a fun time planned tonight, and it all started with us asking a couple questions in Discord, or actually Joel popped in there and said, first of all, what are we going to do tonight?
Oh,
we had
all hail. Sorry, I was still on. We got to leave. We get to leave the Stream Monarch notification from last time. Quantum had 60
just as is.
Last time. It lives right there.
Okay.
All hail. Yeah, that's a good.
You go.
What your point was, though, is excellent, Jake. Let me pull Discord over and we'll show off what we did here.
Sure. Yeah, we asked in Discord in our patrons. We said, hey, what do you want to see tonight? The options were two different draft formats. One was on MitGo, one was on MTG Arena, and then the other was March of the Machine Precons. So once it was decided that we were going to do March of the Machine Precons,
87 to 17 for the nearest one.
Yeah, and we'll probably, you know, that has a lot to do with how much hype is going on for March of the Machine, and but people want to see the precons. So then what we did was we went and we asked, what precons do you want to see? And it came down to Tinker Time and what's the other one? Divine Convocation.
Convocation.
So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking a look at those decks. We're going to be looking at what the commander does, looking at the 99, looking at what synergy gets to stay, and we're going to be pulling some cards out, and it's all going to be budget stuff. If you are interested in getting one of these decks, make sure you check in the description of this video for the TCG affiliate link, because if you are picking one of these up, it costs you nothing and it helps us out a great deal. So if you are picking up one of these decks, if you're like, wow, Tinker Time actually looks really fun, and you decide to get it, definitely use that link and help out the channel with just the click of a button.
Just a little click of a button.
Just a little click, baby. That's it.
So yeah, I saw somebody say, yay, impromptu Monday stream. And we agree, yay. But I gotta tell you, we're gonna be doing this for a little while. We're gonna see how y'all like it. We're gonna be streaming Mondays and Wednesdays. So make sure you're here not just for the Wednesday streams, but for the Monday streams as well. Basically, you'll find Wednesday streams stay the same. We've always talked about current events, new releases, a lot of our finance topics. We live there. But we're going to jump in and do a little Monday stream regularly here for a while. See how it goes as we start the spring out. And we're going to try and do more Commander gameplay, Commander deck builds and testing. Try and put all that stuff on Monday. So we have a nice little, Commander Day
always be
Finance Day.
It won't always be Commander content. We might do something else, but yeah, there will be Commander content on Mondays and stuff like that. It's all kind of like up in the air. We're going to try it out, like Joel's saying. We're going to see how it does. What that means is you're going to see, I guess we can kind of tell people what that means is you're going to see less regular format videos. You're going to see more stream cuts of the streams on Monday and Wednesday. And then the big overall picture is you're going to see more story form content from us that is going to be I would say pretty high effort type stuff, where we're going to try to create stuff with lasting power in the MTG space that people will want to watch and revisit and should be really entertaining.
That's a really good point Jake is making. The why we're messing around with the format right now. We got a lot of good feedback on the story piece that we put out earlier in the year. Did a little high effort post, but it takes some changes on how we do things to really make that conducive to our everyday lives. So we're trying some stuff. Somebody said, look at that butterfly token. Yeah, Jake, did you see this new insect token that came with the March of the Machine Commander product?
I have seen it, and I really, this is a product that I want to get a box of, and I plan to maybe a little bit later in the month. It's got a lot of very fun cards in it. I'm really excited to see what happens to Ragavan's price. I made a call that it's going to hit mid 40s, and I think that we're going to get there. I've seen a lot of them get opened, so I'm hoping that for some of those, well, specifically the monkey, but the higher end Multiverse Legends, a lot of those should see big price adjustments. So that's what I'm really excited about. And I am building a Tali. I see Matt in there talking about just pulled an Tali. Can't wait to build it. Yeah, I'm super excited to build that one as well.
The point is y'all chose what we're doing tonight. We gave
Charles says, Drake and Josh, how's it going tonight? Josh, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Drake, how are you?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. I'm feeling excited about this. Charles, we're feeling great, man. Thanks for hanging out.
I want to see first, before we jump into this, who typed in hashtag gets the worm and hit that like button. Dirt Sleep, you won the giveaway. Dirt Sleep, what have I got for you right here? Oh, look at that. Halloween 2022 Dragon Shields. Everybody say yay, Halloween. Skulls
I love
in chat.
that random Dragon Shield bucket of sleeves where it's like you can get something from, you can get something neutral, you can get some holiday stuff, you'll get some stuff from different IPs.
I just reach in there and like grab,
Game of Thrones, Street Fighter, all sorts of random stuff.
You know what? Dirt Sleep, if you like Game of Thrones, I've got some I don't even know the houses. House Greyjoy. I've got some House Greyjoy sleeves. If you like branded stuff, or just squids, it is just
this is Halloween. Joseph says, yeah, Halloween.
Yeah, so congratulations, Dirt Sleep. You can pick either the Halloween 2022s or the House Greyjoy. Dirt Sleep said Halloween is fine. Dirt Sleep, DM me on Discord. Please say I'm Dirt Sleep. I won the Halloween sleeves. This is my U.S. shipping address. If you don't have a continental U.S. shipping address, send me your email, and we will send you the value of the prize via PayPal.
That is right.
Let's see if these have been added already. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful chat.
Yeah, I'm very excited to take a look at these.
What do we got? Tinker Time
and Divine Convocation. So which one do you want to start with?
I'm gonna ask the audience here. What do we got? Divine Convocation.
One is Teamer, one is Jeskai.
Which first, homies? All right, get your votes in on which one we're gonna do first. It's either gonna be Tinker Time or Divine Convocation. I'm gonna go ahead and make a dupe of both of these. Duplicate. This is going to be Jam Community Tinker Time. Let's go. Duplicate. And then we're also going to make a dupe of... Look at this, chat. They've got the precons. They load the precons in here specifically. Wizards of the Coast does. So you're just like ready to go. Also going to do Divine Convocation. Make a dupe of this one.
I'm going to go ahead and take a look at these. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. We got 142 people watching. If you want to help us race to 69 likes, we're super close. Let's see here. All right, let's look at this deck.
If you want to see all of our decks that we build as a community or Jake and mine's individual decks, moxfield.com/users/Jake and Joel Magic, just linked it there in chat. Make sure you go over there, drop us a like on our Moxfield, and check out the decks we got over there. Drop comments, leave suggestions. You know how it goes. Did we hit 69 likes? Are you kidding me? We passed it. Cheers, everyone. Looks like Divine Convocation's going first. We got 60-40 split on that.
Oh, okay. All right, well, then we'll just get in with the Jeskai one first.
So, Jajam Community Divine Convocation upgrade. What we're going to do here is Jake and I, along with you, are going to go through this deck card at a time. We'll stop on the ones that are newer that we don't know as well. We'll skip over the ones that are obvious. We're going to make some cuts. That's step one. Step two, make additions. And then step three, we'll do a little testing of it and see how it goes. But Jajam Community Divine Convocation. Let's start with the commander. What do you say?
Yeah, that sounds good. BuzzFuzz, we will definitely do all the decks. We're just gonna have to figure out how we split them up. We wanted to give each deck a good bit of time and tinkering, and so it may have to be across this stream and then possibly Wednesday as well.
All right, so chat, if you got suggestions for the deck, jot them down, open up notes, type them down. We'll ask for suggestions at a certain point. What we're going to be doing here first is your recommendation and our decisions on cuts. So let's jump right into it. We start off with the commander. Kazla the Broken Halo, a white, a red, a blue, and 3 for a 5/4 angel ally with Convoke. And now when you tap a creature to Convoke, it can pay for 1 or 1 mana of that creature's color. So it is possible to get Kazla down to free if we've got 6 creatures on the battlefield, 1 of which is white, 1 of which is red, 1 of which is blue, at the very least.
Which will also help a lot with commander tax if it were to get removed.
Oh, hell yeah.
Again and again.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the first time you recast it, have 2 creatures on the battlefield, you don't have to pay the tax.
Right.
And so forth. MTG Gaming Bob with the $3.69 super chat. Commander raids, a great way to goldfish the deck. I hadn't heard that.
He sent me a link about this earlier, and I haven't had a chance to check on what it is, but I will reach out to him about it. Yeah, I think I get kind of like a vibe that this commander needs to be attacking alongside the creatures in the deck. We do see that there are 28 creatures.
Yeah. Flying, Vigilance,
5/4.
and Haste. Yeah.
Yeah,
there
exactly.
You go. Whenever you cast another spell that has Convoke, you scry 2, then you draw a card.
Scry 2, big deal. Big deal.
Yeah.
And what's cool about it is you have the draw engine built into the commander, which makes me really excited because you don't have to build a ton of draw into the deck. You know, you will still want to have some draw in the deck. But
so I was just curious.
Yeah, it looks pretty strong. Clay with the 5 gifted. Thank you, Clay.
Everybody, if you got a gifted membership from Clay, say thank you. Y'all with the gifted memberships tonight, y'all are awesome. Thank you so much. Everybody that becomes a member gets our anthem, but we have to sacrifice one of you. So enjoy the +1/+1, but at the beginning of every turn, one of y'all is going down. I was curious, Jake, and obviously all of these won't be playable necessarily, but I wanted to know how many cards in our colors have Convoke so that we can trigger that Scry 2 draw card, which you're right is huge. replacing these cards in our hand lets us be very aggressive. 52 options. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Lots of Convoke, yeah.
So Elspeth Sun's Champion, I mean, what is it here? You got a board wipe, backdoor, and you got 3 1/1s that can help Convoke Kazla out. I mean, anything that creates tokens is probably going to be pretty solid in this deck, right?
You know, I think so, unless it's something that's just kind of like filler, and we're going to go through all the stuff that creates tokens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if it does create tokens, I would think pretty good. Elspeth, a little top heavy.
For sure.
That might end up being a cut, but it's a fine card, and I see why they put it in the deck.
Well, let's look at Moxfield functionality real fast, chat, and you can see how we typically do this. We've got a sideboard, and we've got what would be called a maybe board. Typically, when we make our cuts in these precons, we take the cuts and put them in the sideboard because that shows very clearly what we've taken out of the precon as it stands. But then we also have cards, Jake, in the maybe board that are kind of, considering cards. So just keep that in mind as we see cards here as we're making our cuts. We can either destroy cards outright, don't put them in the main board or maybe board or sideboard, or we can just axe them. Angel of Finality enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. This is one for me, Jake, that I would say this is a utility creature that could go into the maybe board, right?
It doesn't really work with our general.
Yeah, I think this will be a cut from the deck. I think sideboard would be best for that one because I doubt we put that one back in, right?
Yeah.
Angel of Salvation's got Flash and Convoke. ETBs prevent the next 5 damage that would be dealt this turn to any number of targets divided as you choose. The next 5 that would be dealt this turn to any number of targets. So does that mean
cut that as well? This is like, just to me, it's fine because it has Convoke. Maybe if there's enough go wide and you get this out fast enough, it could be good. But I don't know. I don't even like it that much as a payoff. I mean, it's a 5/5 flyer, which is nice, but
right. So the way I'm reading this is if I have a spell that says deals 5 to every creature, it's preventing that 5 from any number of targets. Am I reading that right? I don't divide this up, right? There's some part of my brain that's like dividing that up is what it meant. The next 5 damage that would be dealt this turn to any number of targets. Yeah, I feel like it protects everything from 5. Yeah, let's put this in the considering just because it does have Convoke. It's one that might come back in as we fall more and more in love or less in love with Convoke. This says when Banisher Priest enters the battlefield, exile target creature an opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. So this is putting effects on creatures so that you can still have removal effects, but also achieve
this is just
Convocation.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. For me, this is very cuttable. But yeah, that's just it's very medium. Very medium.
Whenever you draw a card, put a +1 counter on it. When it dies, create X 1/1 blues with Island Walk, where X is the number of +1/+1. Yeah, it's good. It's gonna create things that help us Convoke for sure, and just get bigger and bigger, and they all Island Walk as well.
And it gets massive. If I recall correctly, this card used to be very expensive. I think when it was a scarce card, it did have some pretty good value.
Yeah, we'll leave Chasm Skulker in. I'm sorting by mana cost so we can go watch our curve at the same time.
Sounds good.
ETBs untap up to 2 lands, and it's got cycling. Yeah, this one I feel like is a cut for me.
It's just, it's a 1/1 that helps Convoke.
Right.
It's not very
but
good.
Every creature helps Convoke, right? I mean, I'd rather do this. Pay 1 red, 1 other for 2 red pips Convoked. Like, that reduces our commander down to 4 mana by just
it's like
playing
a Mog War
this.
Marshal.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a fine card as well. But this for me is another card that looks like there's probably something that we could find that's better.
For sure.
You know, we could go with like, what's that one card called? I don't know why I can't remember it. Rabble Master.
You're right. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Any number of them, but at least it's on theme for the deck, right? At least this is what we want to do. I think it'd be a pretty good turn 2 play to reduce Kazla to 4 mana.
Yeah, I think so.
And then be able to convoke her out.
Yeah, I was just saying that there is probably something that exists if we were to fine tune it that could replace that.
Yeah.
For not too much money.
Enters the battlefield, draw a card. So at least this replaces itself is probably why it's in here. But again, it's
it's okay.
Pretty medium.
Very medium. Yeah.
Another creature enters the battlefield, gain a life. Another creature in the battlefield under your opponent's. I mean, it's the idea here is we're creating a lot of tokens, right? But I don't know that this is the synergy we want to lean into with those tokens personally. Just draining.
Oh, why don't we, you know what, before we make cuts, let's look at everything that they do really quick. We've already made a couple cuts,
right?
But let's just briefly go through what it looks like the synergy was that the people who made this intended.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. So Tetsuko, Avi, we're creating a lot of tokens. We can make those tokens unblockable with Tetsuko. Hedge Mage, it seems like ETB was a big sub theme of this, because this is if you control 2 or more mountains, destroy an artifact, 2 or more planes, destroy an enchantment on the ETB here. You know, we don't have a lot. I guess it's just as much as possible they wanted creatures that fulfilled the removal roles, and then we're left over to convoke your commander out or convoke your convoke spells.
Sure. Yeah. Really quick, Keto says, Joel, you're going to need creatures. Well, what we're going to do is once we make our cuts, we're going to go and look back and see what did we cut, and then we're going to replace it with probably a creature. If we cut a creature, we're going to put a creature back in, just something that seems better.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, 25 to 30 creatures I think is completely fine with this deck. You know, 1 in every 3 cards, pretty sweet. 1 in every 4 cards. Because if you can get one of these 2 or 3 mana, if you can get a 2 or 3 mana creature down on the battlefield on turn 2 or 3, you're definitely casting Kazla by turn 3 or 4. And that's where we want to be. We can tap out to play that 4th creature, or that 3rd creature rather, and then tap all the 3 creatures and be able to get Kazla out there for, you know, super cheap. Goblin Medics, whenever it becomes tapped, deal 1 damage to any target. I think that's going to be a sub theme we see, because we've got Saint Traft and Rem Carolus as our lieutenant commander, so to speak. And so, you know, we're going to have a little bit of a tap sub theme. Mentor of the Meek.
This is a card that I'm always fine with. It's going to work really well with our theme, and it's just draw on a body. Helps convoke as well. When this becomes tapped, it flickers something, a non-land, non-token permanent of anybody's. That can be good. You attack, you flicker their big blocker. Is good. Oh, it's non-token. But I would put this in a maybe board as well. Okay. I think it's a great card. Definitely maybe board, because it doesn't 100% synergize with our. Well, then Goblin Medics, I would say, right? Like, it's the same thing here. Any of this tap creature stuff is potentially the same thing. Nadir, Kraken. Oh yeah, Convoke also triggers it. When you tap to Convoke, it gets the thing and flicker a thing. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we need to think about tap synergies. Let's put this back in for now. Yeah, that sounds good. I wasn't thinking about that. That's a good idea. Haven't ever built a Convoke deck. Whenever you draw a card, I like Kraken. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, same thing here. Goes wide, gets big. It's strong. Convokes and creates stuff and untaps when it convokes. Great. Yeah. Enters the battlefield, untap all creatures you control. So this I would keep, because it's just going to be... Baby. It's kind of silly. It's going to allow us to do some big stuff. Yeah, for sure. Wildfire Awakener's a new card, a white or red and 1, an X for a 3/2 with Convoke. ETBs create X 1/1 red elemental creature tokens with whenever this creature becomes tapped, it deals 1 damage. Holy, this is good. Yeah, that card's straight gas.
These
It's meant for the
tokens
deck.
don't even go away, dude. What the hell? I want this to be my commander.
Yeah, that card's gas. It's
And
really
Maria
good.
Angel landfalls to put 1/1s with
I've
flying on the
always hated
battlefield.
this card, dude. I've never liked Maria Angel. It's gonna be. I have a
Considering.
bias.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Biases are
Yeah.
fine. Becomes tap, draw a card.
I mean, it works well with Convoke.
Yeah, and that's the whole
It's
point,
a little,
right?
it's a little strong or a little top heavy as far as mana value goes, but I do like that it's going to passively easily tap to draw cards.
Yeah.
It seems good.
Keeper of the Accord. This is a personal card that I love. It always does better than I expect it to. Beginning of each opponent's end step, if they have more creatures, you get a 1/1. Beginning of each opponent's end step, if they have more lands, you get a plains onto the battlefield. It's stronger than it seems. It's always a first cut because it's one of those generically good cards that isn't like straight up synergy. And so
Oh, I don't hate it. I like it. I do like it.
Kikar, whenever you cast a non-creature, you're getting a 1/1 and Wingsack Spirits to add mana. Seems like where we want to be.
Yep.
Beginning in combat on your turn, you create a token that's a copy of a creature token you control, which seems like it's where we want to be. And whenever a creature token enters the battlefield under your control, you put +1 on Nesting Dovehawk. This card alone could... Is this a new card? Have I not heard of this card before?
I've never heard of that card.
March of the Machine. Yep. Straight up. Yo.
Yeah, that
That's
stays.
insane, dude. You could get a flyer. You get this on the battlefield and then just figure out some way to create like 10 tokens and you can finish somebody off. Just with your
very good.
Nesting Dovehawk. That's
And
hilarious.
Look at that leaf it has.
Yeah. The whole thing it's very cute. Alessandra Pisano. Hell yeah with the
It's a nice
Nesting
card.
Dovehawk.
It's a beautiful card.
Love the dove. That's a beautiful
Love
card.
the dove.
Love
Dove love.
Dove love over here.
Finally,
Joyful
venerated
Storm
Loxodon in the
Sculptor.
deck. Good
Dude,
card.
look at those little tiger babies that this thing is making. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you create 2 blue. Oh, yeah, dude. Blue and red. Oh, my God. Okay, so chat, somebody remind me. That's something that we need to search, is cards that specifically make tokens that are 2 different colors. That would be sick because that is a super good way to fix our mana and convoke our stuff out. Create 2 blue and red creature tokens. Whenever you cast a spell that has convoke, it deals a damage to each opponent and each battle they protect. Sure. I like the token
Joel,
creation.
what's that new card that the red enchantment that's rare that has convoke that we said it would be good and then it tripled in price yesterday?
The big dumb enchantment in this set exploded already?
Went from 5 to 15.
That's because Convoke is a broken mechanic and that card is ridiculous. It's whatever Fire Emancipation was in this set.
Something city.
The city is burning. Burn down the city. There you go,
Burn down the
K-Spice.
city.
Yeah, burn down the city. Booyah. Whatever it is.
That needs to be in here.
That's how they killed Atraxa in the story, is they just collapsed
that's it.
all
City on fire. Thank you,
They
Buzz.
just collapsed all the towers in Capenna on Atraxa. That's how she died. Anyway, City on
Fire. It tripled in price overnight. I went to get a play set today because I was like, you know what? I don't want to sleep on this card. I'll spend $20 for 4 copies. And then I went on there and I was like 15 a card. And I was like, this is ridiculous, bro.
Venerated Loxodon, the premier card of one of my favorite mono white decks in Standard of all time. Love this card. Dude, you can convoke this out with 5 creatures and all 5 of those creatures also grow in power. Imagine, we got Kikar just killing it with spirits on the battlefield and then Loxodon's in your hand.
There was a Standard tournament that was won by this card just because it was able to beef up the board just like you're talking about so quickly. And it coming down like early, a 4/4 that's going to beef up your entire board. This card is amazing. It's just so good.
Flock Chaser Phantom is a 5/5 flying vigilant spirit with Convoke. It says whenever it attacks, the next spell you cast this turn has Convoke. Holy sheesh. Seems
so
good.
That's pretty interesting. Whenever it attacks, the next spell you cast is... Okay, so think about this. You got a couple things on the battlefield. Swing with your team, right? Now the counter spell in your hand, or not swing with your team, but leave a couple things back.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's this turn. So you can't give something instant speed convoke and like counter on their turn, unfortunately. Yeah. But I like this card. It's very interesting. Good design.
Locust God stays. It's
generically good
fast,
in this deck. It creates 2 color creature tokens, and it does a host of other fantastic stuff. Plus, it's a big grasshopper. Love that. Seraph of the Masses. This is one for me where it's like, this has been one of the Convoke cards forever to my memory. Yeah, Magic 2015. This card has been around forever.
This is bad.
It's just fine.
It's boring.
It's
just boring and not that
super boring.
It's not that good. It's not that good. And you're doing a lot, you know, even though you're convoking it 7 to just get a 5/5 flyer.
It's the same thing on this card.
Or not a 5/5 or however much.
This card is in here because it has convoke, full stop. No other necessity for this.
This is awful. It's awful.
All right, we're in the sorceries. Path of the Ghostbuster. A white 1 and X, create X 1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, and starting with you, each player votes for Planeswalker Chaos. If Planeswalk gets more votes, you Planeswalk, and if Chaos gets more votes or votes tied, Chaos ensues. Okay, so let's separate Plane Chase from this. We're gonna build this as though we're not gonna be playing Plane Chase with it all the time.
I like that. I like that we're gonna build it as though we're not gonna be playing Plane Chase. That's gonna help with these upgrades, and for anybody who is wanting to play this outside of that, these are going to be cuts that would immediately happen. Right. So
and they're going to be in the sideboard. You know, you can sideboard in your Plane Chase cards before you play Plane Chase. Easy peasy. So the question then becomes, and chat, help us with this, is 1 white, 1 other X at sorcery speed to create X 1/1 flyers good enough to stand by itself? I'm of the inclination to say yes, but I also know that there are better cards, like automatic 1-for-1s that we can replace this with that are strictly better. Or do we supplement the number? Like, does this make 3rd cut? Is this 3rd string? Is this 4th string? Because if it's
what card? Path
of the Ghost Hunter. I mean, Storm Herd.
Just cut it.
Yeah. Storm Herd, automatically better. Grand Crescendo, strictly better. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was trying to see if there was maybe a case for it to be 3rd string, really, because you wouldn't want more than 3 of those effects in your library anyway. So Ren's Resolve, like cards before it, is just generically good card draw in these colors. However, we are in blue. Do we need Impulse 2 for 1 red, 1 other? It's a 3-color deck, so it helps us that it's only 1 red pip.
Exile the top 2 cards of your library. I mean, this could be replaced too, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, we're in blue. We can draw a card. We're in blue and white. We got access to like the best draw shit that's not black. I mean, yeah, I feel like that's a cut. Battle Screech. Create 2 1/1s with flying, and then flashback, tap 3 untap white creatures you control. I think this is the kind of card that we actually do like, and will be an overperformer in the deck versus how it looks on paper. Personally.
Yeah.
Temporal Cleansing. We'll leave that in the. We'll put this in the.
Yeah, I like that. We'll leave it in. Yeah. I'm medium on it, but it's a maybe. It's a maybe.
See,
for me.
I compare it to cards like this where for 1 more mana we get 4, but the flashback of we don't have to spend any more mana, and it creates 2 of the creatures that can flash it back, and they can automatically do it.
It flashes back its sorcery, so we do need to remember that
for sure.
It would be
but you can. I mean, you pay the 4 with Battle Screech, you get the 2 white creatures. You only need 1 more white creature, and you get to cast it again right then that turn. And you end up with 4. I think it's better than it seems. Temporal. Red highlight means the card is not released yet, Corey G. Temporal Cleansing. 1 blue, 3 other for a convoke. The owner of target non-land permanent puts it into their library, 2nd from the top or on the bottom. Do you get to choose? Who gets to choose? Judge? Will you please explain to me the wording on this? JMO, thank you for that update. I do appreciate
the owner
that.
of it. It's the person who owns the card.
They get to choose if it goes into
Correct.
second from the top or on the
person who
bottom.
paid money and brought it to the game. That's the person who owns the card.
Wow, wow. I think that's a sideboard card, even though it is Convoke. It's sorcery speed.
It is only worth considering because it has Convoke.
Right.
I think we keep it, dude, because like the thing is it does work with our. If we cut it, you know what? We can cut it, and then at the end we need to look at the fact that it has Convoke and make sure we bring in another card that has Convoke for it.
Oh, 100%. We're gonna go add Convoke cards like crazy. That's probably the first thing we're gonna search. So look, Jake, I've added cards that we might want to put back in to considering versus sideboard, which is all of our stuff where we're just like, meh, not for this deck. So we still got a good easy place to go and look. All right, past that we got Migratory Route, which it seems like a yes. Austere Command is generically good, and then Hour of Reckoning is like exactly what we want to be doing with this deck, is using our token creatures to destroy all non-token creatures. Still have a
someone did make a good note about they feel like our tokens will want
vigilance.
I
saw
so
that.
Yeah, we'll make
like
sure that
idea.
we put Vigi in there for those. What was that? Is it from Avacyn? What is that card? Intangible Virtue?
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Token creatures get vigilance or flying or something. Secure the Wastes seems excellent and exactly like the card I was talking about.
This card has always been stupidly good.
Strictly better.
Tarkir.
Yeah. Instant speed. Oh, baby.
We'll keep the tier 1 removal.
Yeah, we'll keep the tier 1 removal. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn, and you don't have to be untapped to cast it.
That card is so sexy. So good.
Destroy target planeswalker that was activated this turn or tapped creature, so they attack. You convoke this out. You can be tapped out. Oh, dude. Convoke instants. That makes me horny. Convoke instants are everywhere you want to be.
Destroy target planeswalker that was activated this turn or tapped creature.
So it's like an anime move. It's like you tried that trick against me.
Wait, but what was the point that you just made? Is you could do it what?
You don't have to be untapped with mana. You can be untapped with creatures, and it's instant speed. So anything that combines Convoke and instant really gets me there as far as like, if its utility is at all relevant, really into it being in this deck.
And then we have to think about that is going to play beautifully with the commander as well, right?
Exactly, dude. Look at this. This is the same thing. Instant speed, convoke, exile a target attacking or blocking creature.
I believe this card has existed before, if I recall correctly.
Oh yeah, Ravnica. Oh, look at that art. That art is arguably way better.
And these are just like, if we're going to be doing this and scrying too and then drawing a card, that's going to allow us to really get the most out of the commander. So stuff like this has to stay.
100%. Tier 1 removal. I guess we'll leave that in.
Good. It's fine. It's good.
Meeting of Minds, draw 2 for Convoke, instant speed.
I like this.
Oh yeah.
I like that. Meeting of Minds is a card that I think that's a common, right? I could see that being big in Pauper. Big.
Is this a... Oh yeah. This is not
it's a regular
new card
from the set.
Brand new card. Wow. Stoke the Flames. Instant speed, convoke 4 to any target. Yes, baby. Artistic Refusal. Convoke. Choose one or both. Counter target
this
spell.
Is that one. Yeah.
Or draw 2, then discard a card. Yeah, we had this in our top new commander cards.
Yep.
Shadow the Source. Fun one. Convoke, choose 1, 6 to a creature, walker, or battle, or destroy an artifact. Ugh, that cost is pretty steep for this.
Bro, I'm not super high on that card.
This is going
not super high on that.
Yeah, let's go to considering, like you said.
I would rather that just be in a braid, honestly.
Seriously, I'll just stay on tap with 2. I'm good.
Yeah.
Prevent all damage that would be dealt by creatures this turn. You gain life equal to the damage prevented this way. Ugh. Dude, like 1 white holy day. If you want to run fog effects in here, which could be good, right? Like a couple sneaky fog effects, because we're going to be tapping out unless we can give our shit vigilance. We're going to be tapping out to do everything in this deck. And so
the thing about fog is, because people aren't always attacking you, a well-timed fog could mean the difference in in a game.
Absolutely.
A fog effect is sometimes very good. So yeah, I don't hate it. It's very expensive.
Yeah, it's 8 for this is really tough for me to stomach,
If we did
especially
cut
when
it-
like,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I'm
Holy
fine with-
Day,
I'm fine with cutting it.
Yeah, there we go. Prevent all combat damage this turn, instant speed, 1 white mana. I think that let's put it in considering. There's argument for those effects in the deck for sure, because we want to be safe from clapbacks.
Yeah.
But
that was a nice walk-off by Braves there.
8 is excellent. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. Jennifer just updated a while ago, said they won in 10. Got to take the red stacks for innings. Anyway, Skull Clamp. Tier 1,
100%.
Tier 1 draw in a token deck. Soul
That
Ring.
in here is pretty much a no-brainer. Skull Clamp is always going to be a card. And what's really sexy is they're putting the freaking Skull Clamp right in the deck. This is a card that always creeps back up because people love it. This was a card that absolutely warped
$4.50
the format when it first came out.
$14
It
foil.
always creeps back up. It's just one of those cards. It's the infinite
I skipped this
$4
secret layer,
uncommon.
Jake. This card is now worth almost the price of that secret layer. Wow.
That's how that always happens, man.
Yeah, I know.
It's awful.
I've seen secret layers before. It's happened.
Yeah.
Skull Clamp, yes. Soul Ring, yes. Arcane Signet, yes. Fractured is a 2 mana, add 1, it roll the planner die. Like, this should be a Mind Stone instead, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd be fine with it being a Worn Power Stone, actually. The 3 for 2.
Move to sideboard. We're just going to straight cut that. Commander Sphere, we're going to leave in for now, but this is like when we go start looking through utility artifacts or mana rocks. Anything better for us, any mana rock that has like an untap or a whatever. This is mostly just to signify we've cut 2 mana rocks from this, so we should probably add at least 1 more back, if not 2.
Joel, really quick, did you ever answer how do you highlight the cards in red on Moxfield? Corey did ask about that, and I forgot.
Yes, I did.
You did? Okay, good.
The red cards are the cards that haven't been released yet. I haven't highlighted those red. That's done automatically because they aren't technically legal, because they aren't technically released.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
No worries. Cultivator Caravan. A mana rock that can crew as a 5/5 and lean into some of our tap strategies.
It's very cuttable for me.
I put it in considering instead of let's straight up cut it, because it does at least play with the synergies. Enters the battlefield tap. This is a new one. 3 mana, 1 white, 2 other. Enters the battlefield tap. Add white, or the next spell you cast this turn has Convoke. Holy shit.
This card is so fucking good.
Oh
my god.
Wait, hang on. This card is going to be expensive.
This is so stupid.
This card
is... Could this see...
Dude, do you know how many decks are fucking token decks nowadays?
This card is stupid.
Dude.
What's the price of that?
Dude, this is... Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even have a price yet. This card seems really good in one of the main strategies in Commander, which is tokens go wide. How you pay those tokens off, completely up to you, but you'll be creating tokens nonetheless, and giving your spells Convoke just turns your tokens into mana. It does enter the battlefield tapped, though. It's strong, it's fair, but I'm saying casual is the vast majority of Commander players. Tokens is one of the top Commander strategies, period. Everything residually creates a token nowadays, it feels like. That card is really good.
Like in the next, I'm just going to tap it and
tap 6 creatures.
Lauren collects?
Yeah.
Elish Norn?
Right. Icar Elixir. And that's Convoke. That means they can help. Not that it has to be all your creature tokens. You can still tap lands. This card is good. Icar Elixir. Let's cut one of the World Soul. I'm just kidding. Icar Elixir. 4 mana. If you would roll 1 or more planner die. All right. We're going to cut this one to the sideboard. Deluxe Dragster. This is a new one, Jake. A blue and 4 for a 4/3 vehicle. It can't be blocked except by vehicles. Oh, that's cool. It's like a little hot rod, a little dragster. Races faster. You got to be in a vehicle to catch it. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target instant or sorcery from that player's graveyard without paying its mana cost. If that spell would be put into a graveyard, exile it. Crew 2. No downsides.
Hold on. One of my cats pooped and it smells disgusting. And it's throwing off my vibe. Thank you. Please. Something is awful, and it's way off right now. All right, go ahead. Sorry. Jeez. It's like an attack on my nostrils.
Deluxe Dragster is a really good card, but I feel like it's a little off strategy for us, especially if we're leaning away from when this creature becomes tapped. We really don't need any other ways to tap them, which this is just providing like a secondary way to tap things that need to be tapped outside of Convoke. Secondary outside of attacking, obviously.
When it deals combat damage, it can't be blocked except by vehicles. It's not a bad card. It's kind of cool.
That's what I'm saying. It's cool, but I don't know. We'll leave it.
Can't be blocked except by vehicles. I mean, if it does get through it, and here's the thing: is I wouldn't play it if it didn't have a specific clause in it that essentially makes it can't be blocked.
Only way it's good.
It makes it into a toolbox. If it gets through, you're going to do some shenanigans out of your opponent's graveyard. You know, it's going to allow you to cast stuff outside your color wheel. I think it's pretty sweet.
We'll leave it in. Impact Trimmer seems good with what we're trying to do. Create tokens. Comes in, 1 to each opponent.
On that note, I'm going to put Perforos down. Perforos might be worth it.
Oh, yeah, especially if we really lean into creating a lot of tokens, which it seems like that's what we're going to do.
Correct.
We need to get. Did you write down anthems already? With this deck has not presented a single anthem yet, and if we're doing this token attacking strategy, anthems, vigilance across the line, that could be good. Improbable Alliance. Draw your second card. You create a 1/1. This is very good. It synergizes with our commander, which allows us to draw a second card on our turn when we cast something with Convoke, and it has a built-in allower of draw a card, discard a card, loot it, trigger itself, create a 1/1. This card's fun. This card's good. Conclave Tribunal, this is everywhere we want to be, baby. This is exiling a non-land permanent for convoking 4 creatures onto it.
Yeah, it's a good card.
Cast a non-creature, draw a card. This is...
It's just one of these cards that does this. You know, it's one of these. You pay 4, but then in theory... well, let's say you just have the Wand of the World Soul. You tap, you convoke this out. Now we're really talking. So I mean, I think there's situations where this card can be very good, but you know, like obviously a Skull Clamp is going to be better. I don't hate it though. Non-creature spells are big in Commander. Once you've gotten past the turn that you play it,
we'll add more in obviously, and we got to add in more Convoke spells as it is. But we're running 4 sorceries, 9 instants, so 13 plus 6 is 21, and then 4. So 25 triggers off of it. I think it could be really good.
Yeah, we can keep it.
39 lands seems excessive. Let's look at what we got in here outside of... You know what? We'll go through and fix our lands up afterward. There's nothing I'm seeing that I would immediately just chop except for Terramorphic and Evolving Wilds. Obviously, we can fix those. And we can use more, like, I doubt shocks are in here, that kind of stuff. The main thing here is, Jake, do we want to just leave it at 39 as we do the upgrade and we can cut it down to 38 or 37? It does.
I think we could just go down to like, let's just do 37 and we'll just go from there. I don't think we need 39 lands.
Okay.
I have some notes, some stuff that I wrote down.
That's where we're at, chat. We got 37 lands, so our land count is accurate. We got 82 cards remain in the deck. And we need token creators. So, Jake, what have you got for us?
Beanpot, I do like that. Cut 3, add 3 MDFC. We'll probably do that. So, a few of the things that I saw is, let's go ahead and get Intangible Virtue in. I'm pretty sure that's the card.
Creature tokens you control get +1/+1 and have vigilance. This is a lot of things that we want. Beautiful.
One of the mana rocks that we cut, let's add Worn Power Stone in instead. You know, obviously there's going to be some that are going to be more expensive that we could run, but this is a nice card. Enters tapped, but you're going to get the 2 mana on it. This is nice for our commander. Perforos, which we were just talking about.
Yep, let's look at Perforos. God of the Forge. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 2 damage to each opponent. Another version of
strong.
things like Impact Tremors.
One card that I thought could work for us really nice is a new card that came out in Phyrexial will be one, but Skrelv's Hive, which is like the white bitter blossom.
Yeah.
Not nearly as good, but pretty strong card in here.
No,
We're
I
just gonna
completely agree.
Passively get tokens off of it that we can use to convoke.
Oh, yeah. Skrelv, there it is. Skrelv's Hive. It is the white bitter blossom. Benny,
and then I
saw
did
Benny.
have
That's what I was trying to search up. At the beginning of each end step, if you created a token this turn, draw a card.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And it has Convoke.
And it has Convoke. Oh yeah. Yeah, that seems really like right on the nose. City on Fire was one that we just talked about.
Yeah, to that note, let's look at what we have
Whenever
that
a
has
source
Convoke.
you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple. So that could be, I mean, that's, God, that card is so good.
I mean, that's a game winner kind of card right there.
And then someone said Chief Engineer earlier, and I thought that was an interesting choice.
Artifact spells you cast have Convoke.
No, never mind. We could cut that.
Let's look at Convoke and we'll sort EDH rank and see what we have that we can just dump in there right off the rip.
Oh, wait, really quick before we do that, can we
Sure.
look at the cuts? I wanna just look at our cuts really quick and make a fast note about, of our cuts, how many of them had Convoke. Let's make a note about that really
So
fast.
cards that we just outrighted, 1, 2 had Convoke, and 1 created creature tokens. But we're
Okay,
going to be
2
trying to
had
put those.
Convoke.
And then considering cards, 2 had Convoke. Sorry,
And
4 had Convoke. 2 instants we
Considering.
cut, and yeah, those are ones that could go back in if we're like, yeah, it needs to go back in.
all right, well then let's do this first. Let's go search Convoke and see if we could find 6 cards with Convoke that seem like they should come back in the deck.
Yep. Obelisk of Erd, this is good, except you have to choose a creature type, and we would have to
Nope.
lean into one creature type of token, and that's not really where we want to be.
Boo. Yeah. Boo.
Convoking Teferi's Protection, that's like an automatic yes.
Any number of target non. Yes.
Return.
What happens to a token when it phases out? It comes back, right?
It comes back. Yeah, it comes
Okay,
back.
yeah.
Phase out works differently.
Got it.
Return to ranks. Return target creature cards X with converted mana cost 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this, I think, goes into the considering section, because if we do end up going with like a lot of cards like the goblins that, you know, create 2 tokens for 2 mana, we could really lean into those kind of synergies and look at Sun Titan effects to return a lot of those things. Triplicate Spirits, this seems really good. Convoke out 3 flyers.
I'll
for
make a
6.
note about Assemble the Legion. Go ahead, Joel. Sorry.
Well, it's a sorcery speed. What do you think of it? Sorcery speed, Convoke, put 3 1/1 white flyers onto the battlefield.
Pretty low on it. Pretty low, just because of the mana value of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Enchantment Aura, enchanted creature gets +0/+2 for each other creature you control. Enters a battlefield, gain a life for each creature you control. And chat, now you're seeing why there wasn't really a Convoke deck. Because what we're going to do now... Oh, do you want to gain 8 life, Jake, at instant speed with Convoke? We're going
let's keep going. Is there anything else?
Well, what I
that we
want to
have
do...
here?
What we can do is sort by date. We're sorted by EDH rank, and all of these new Convoke cards just came out. It looks like we're getting down to them anyway, so whatever. Don't like these. New cards. Enters the battlefield, look at the top 6. You can reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value X or less from among them, where X is the number of creatures that convoked Knight Errant. That's very
good. And this
good.
is not in the deck?
No, this is just in the main set. So this is... Chat, if you're new to the Precons, a lot of times they'll build Precons around mechanics from the set so that you need to go get cards from the set that are, you know, just better upgrades for your deck right out of the rip. This seems like it goes in there to me.
I like it because it it solves not only needing to be a convoke spell, but also a creature, and we cut a couple creatures as well.
When it's velocity or card advantage, however you want to look at it too, because if you can convoke it with 5, you get to reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value 5 or less, where 5 is the number of creatures that convoked it, you know? So you can go get 2 5-mana drops in your top 6 if you want to.
Transcendent is tough. It's tough.
4.
I hate 4 blue, dude.
4 blue is really tough, and then you convoke on top of that.
I really don't like it. I don't.
We know these are good. Let's look at non-creature spells you have convoke. So as this siege enters for 3 mana, it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 blue Kraken creature tokens with trample.
Okay.
That seems good for 3 mana.
And then it flips into
non-creature spells you cast have convoke, and at the beginning of your end step, untap up to 4 target creatures. This is really good.
That goes in. I hate that it's a sideways card, but it absolutely goes in.
Everybody claps in chat. We've just put our first battle into a commander deck. This is a historic moment here at Jake and Joel Are Magic. We've just built our first battle into a commander deck.
Wildfire Awakener's already in there. Yeah, the battle goes in.
Invasion of really Segovia. Write it down, baby. Somebody mark it. Damn, we got a battle. Complete the circuit. You may cast sorcery spells this turn as though they had flash, and when you next cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell twice. You may choose new targets for the copies.
It looks so win more, dude, because it's already really top heavy. I do see that it has convoke, so you could use creatures in order to get the spell online.
Dude, just because you could have this and you could have Swords to Plowshares in your hand at the same time. Convoke it with 6 creatures, or just have 4 mana, convoke it with 3 and pay 3, which we're going to have 3 creatures on the battlefield constantly with this deck. Then you cast your swords, you get 3 copies of swords. Or any of the X spells, any of the spells that we cast. Nobody's liking complete the circuit. I'm the only one. Okay. Shadow the Source.
I think it's a trap.
1 red, 5 other, convoke instant speed. Oh, we cut this one.
Yeah, we cut that. I don't like that astral thing either.
No, enters the battlefield, draw a card, enchanted creature gets +2/+2, has flying.
Scary bad.
Not where you want to be.
Scary bad.
All right, convoke it's a 8 mana 5/5 with ward 3. When it ETBs, look at the top 4, put 1 into your hand, rest on the bottom. Interdisciplinary Mascot.
8. Okay, this looks like a draft bomb, dude. I don't think it's a commander card. I mean, it's okay. A 5/5 with ward 3 has no evasion. It's just a big dumb 5/5.
Right.
And it grabs you something. It's not very good.
I agree with you.
It's not very good.
I don't like Ramosian Greatsword either. 5 mana, 3/1 trample. Actually, I mean, look, it gives. Does our commander have trample?
It has haste, vigilance, and what's the other thing? I don't know.
What's her name?
Wait, I have it pulled up. Hold on, I have it.
I just can't go back without losing. Oh yeah, flying. It's an angel.
Yeah, that's what it was.
3/1 trample. It's only even being. I mean, obviously there's better artifacts to give stuff trample. I'm just curious with the convoke. At least with our commander out, we get to, and we're reducing cards. We can't forget that. We don't have to have 5 on the battlefield. This costs 2 and 3 creatures if we want. You know what I'm saying? It just turns our creatures into lands. When this ETBs, okay, so this has vigilance. When it ETBs, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it, which means it has that frost giant effect where if it would become untapped, you remove the counter and go from there. It's fine. It's like a temp removal.
I would cut it. Zephyr Singer needs to come in though.
Yeah, for sure. Shivan Branch Burner, 5/5 fly, 4/4 flyer haste, not where we want to be. This card was in our top commander card, so that's an obvious. +2/+2
Seems
flying.
really good.
I don't think we need that. Up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. We're playing the destruction. How about just a 3/2 that convokes out? That's pretty cute little art.
I love that card. I think it will do things in Pauper. I think there's like something where it's like you could just get that out for free really fast.
Yeah. And then we're down to the bottom. Convoke. The owner of target permanent puts it on into their library second from the top or bottom. We know that that's in our considering right now. A 3/4 generic flyer with Convoke, and tap up to 2 target creatures, put a stun counter on either one, then put a stun counter on either of them.
That's not bad. It's not bad. The stun counters, that's like if you want to get the whole team through. All right, so how many Convoke cards did we add?
I'm going to put this one in considering just so that we can put it back
look
to
at
top.
it.
Yeah, just so that we can look at it compared to the others as well. Because now we have the ones that are no-brainers in the deck 100%, and we have the ones that are potentials in the maybe board. Convoke.
Okay.
And we're going to be hiding unhighlighted cards. Why isn't this working? Huh, the highlighter's not really working on this. Maybe it's because they're new? Well, we can count. The commander has Convoke. Wildfire Awakener 2. 3, Benny Brax. 4, Knight Errant of Eos. 5, Zephyr Singer. 6, Venerated Loxodon. 7, Flock Chaser Phantom. We have 8, Hour of Reckoning. 9, Ephemeral Shields. 10, 11, Devouring Light and Cut Short. 12, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Okay.
16, 17. We have
So
17 Convoke cards.
All right, so maybe we bring in, let's look at our considering, because we probably, I don't even think we added 6 off of that.
So,
all right, so these are considering that are not in the deck currently.
Yeah, I mean, we liked the 4 mana, basically icy tap down, right? That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's worth playing.
We remember we get to draw a card off of these if our commander's on the battlefield. So they replace themselves. I think I like Temporal Cleansing more than any of these other options here.
I like it too.
And then we're left with...
So still chat, we're a little bit far away from being able to really like pick and choose out of a wide range of cards in these colors for Convoke. And that's okay. We still have 6 cards to pick. And I guess let's go back and look at our cuts and see out of our cuts what type of synergies we need to fulfill to kind of keep the... I'm still
kind of on this one. I think that this one could go back in. 6 to a creature, a walker, or a battle. Most often this is going to hit... I mean, 6 toughness is going to hit almost every creature. You know, so it's basically destroy target creature. Or artifact. It's something to think about.
Zechariah says, "Oh, I'm here suggesting random cards from my Naya tokens."
Yeah, I mean, honestly, token creators, we got 6 cards left in the deck. Jake, our other cuts here, we cut creature, rock, token creator, creature, card draw basically, creature/removal, creature/removal of graveyards, planter die stuff, and then 2 bad Convoke creatures. Okay. Hang on. Buzz is going to have a conniption if we don't look at his list. Yeah, see, it's Buzz. It's like 15 cards to look at all at once. We need an easier way to do that, and rather than search them up one by one. We definitely need token creators, that's for sure. Hero of Goma. When it or another ally enters the battlefield under your control, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn.
It's okay. If you're able to blink it a lot, it can be very annoying.
Yeah, I mean, like any of the escort cards would be better, right? Because they do it whenever you need it, and you can play them for like 1 versus 5. I want to see create creature token, sorted up, EDH rec, baby.
Yeah, I think Rabble Master would probably be pretty good in here. Field of the Dead. Field of the Dead is a good note. I'll make a note about that.
I added it. I think it's clutch. It's right. It came up right here.
Oh, okay.
A lot of these are, I mean, it's just going to come up with all of the token creators. So a lot of them are going to be like this, where they're removal. So
Felidar Retreat in here could be very degenerate. It not only it works both ways.
Exactly, dude. It's both ways.
Like that 1/1 counter on each creature, that's win con type potential right there.
Yeah, that's how we win.
Yeah, Krinko seems like a good add. Like that one goblin that costs 2, I would actually put like
Young Pyromancer in its place, dude. Instant or sorcery, create a 1/1.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll remember to cut that goblin when we go back, because I mean, look at this. Whenever you attack, and Adeline is just so freaking good, dude. Whenever you attack, and it doesn't even have to be her. For each opponent, create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking. And then it's got Vigi, and then it's got power equal to the number of creatures you control. Like, that's exactly what we're trying to do. What do you think of a card like Talrand, right? Like, this is really good. Get a blue one every time we instant or sorcery out.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I would add White Castle.
Oh, yeah. That's huge. Yeah. Might as well, right?
Yeah.
Court of Grace. Card draw. Introduces Monarch. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you create a 1/1. I'm kind of medium on it.
It's a little bit expensive.
But a card like this, Oketra's Monument, seems like exactly what we're going for. Just 3 mana, reduces our commander and our other white creatures.
Pretty good.
And we cast just any creature spell, we get a 1/1.
It gets a little love going for the creatures that we cast.
Right. Past that,
I still like Goblin Rabble Master.
Okay.
Because it creates a token and you don't have to swing. I'm pretty sure it just makes a token.
Which Krinko did you want? This one or the one that attacks and creates them equal to his power? Probably the attacking one, right?
The smaller one.
Yeah.
The 3-cost one. I don't even see Rebel Master, actually.
Yeah, it's not in the top sorted by EDH rec rank. Oh, dude, yes, this one. Martial Coup, bro. Create X 1/1s, and if it's 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. What do you think about Shark Typhoon?
I mean, Shark Typhoon is always good, dude.
Yeah.
It's never not good. It's
it doesn't
just a good
go
card.
Super wide like we want to, but I guess, honestly...
It just creates value off of doing stuff once it's on the field.
We'll have to see. We'll add it. We'll have to see how many instants and sorceries we end up with if we're going to be able to trigger it regularly.
Yeah. Right.
Rabble Master. Rabble Master. What are our options for giving all of our creatures vigilance? 3 mana at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 with haste. Whenever it attacks, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each other attacking goblin.
Yeah, I mean, it creates at the beginning of combat, whether or not you need it. I mean, it's kind of...
What's the one that... Yeah, absolutely. I like it a lot. What's the other one that does this? That also mentors? It like grows the tokens.
No, because the token needs to attack. So I guess it's not. Drekaros, are these not the worst precons in the set? These were voted on by the community of what decks people wanted to see tonight. These were the top 2. Right now we're doing Divine Convocation. Yeah, Legion Warboss.
Yeah, this is the kind
it doesn't have to attack?
Well, it has to attack that combat if able. Yeah. But it can create the token. We could Convoke if it's instant speed Convoke. But that would be true of both of them.
Yeah, actually, no, that's not as good. It's most of the time, like if you're making the token, you don't want it to have to attack.
Brave the Sands.
Dracaros, it'll probably be later on, most likely, or possibly Wednesday. We'll fill it out, or maybe the following Monday. We're just making sure that each of the decks gets a good amount of time and we're not rushing through.
Creatures you control have vigilance. Each creature you control can block an additional creature each combat.
Yeah, that's really annoying for people because
our 1/1s can
I mean,
block two
I
creatures.
like it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, a token being able to double block something is really freaking annoying.
Oh, yeah.
And then vigilance means we get to swing. Yeah, it's a good card.
Tokens you control.
Drum Bellower.
Oh, Drum Bellower is
Buzz.
the untap. Yeah, we gotta have things like that. Sort, EDH rec. Oh, we need to not under you control. We need to you. We just need to take out under your.
Oh yeah, we probably want Anointed. We probably want to put Anointed in.
Yeah.
It seems like the way to go.
Divine Visitation, whenever a creature token would be controlled, instead it's a 4/4 with flying and vigilance.
That card is always busted. It's always if you resolve it, it is just always busted.
Here's our land that creates 2 tokens as a utility play.
The blue one is good too. The blue mythic.
Dude, Junkwinder has affinity for
Seagate
tokens,
Restoration.
and then whenever a token enters the battlefield under your control, you tap target non-land permanent opponent controls, and it doesn't untap during its next untap step. Like, Junkwinder is so many things for our deck for an uncommon, man. It's ridiculous.
It essentially has Convoke.
Exactly. Except we don't even have to tap. Grand Crescendo has to be in here, I think. It creates X 1/1s, and if you just want to cast it for 2, creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn.
Yeah, it's really strong.
Rabble Rousing, whenever you attack with 1 or more creatures, create that many 1/1s. And then if you control 10 or more creatures, you can play the Hideaway 5 card that it pulled when it came in.
Well, I don't think we should change too much of the deck. I think we could come in and just start replacing stuff with stuff that's strictly better easily, but let's get the deck to a point where it's at least assembled. We should get through the lands, because keep in mind that we're also, about halfway through the stream and we have a whole second deck that we're going to be doing too.
Yeah, 100%. But we added Anointed Procession. So like, are we going for best cards we can put in here? We can make this our last search for sure. But this is like the token stuff, right? Mondrak.
Yeah. I mean, it's all really, really
Regal.
good stuff. That's what I'm saying is if you go other than the Convoke stuff that we just added, you could essentially replace every single thing in the deck if you wanted.
Okay. We got 109, so we need to cut down 9 anyway. I know we've got some lands, 40 including modal DFCs at this point. So we can go ahead and bring this down. We'll fix our basics here. We're just going to bring that down to... Do you want to go 37? Like 37 including the MDFC, so cut down a land to 36?
Well, here, let's figure out really quick, what is the budget? Should we try to stay under 300? Because we could add in a couple fetch lands. We could add in a couple shock lands.
Yeah, I mean...
What are you thinking? What do you feel?
It's really however we want to approach it. I think the other ones we really don't consider the budget for, but like you said, we're not going to dive too much deeper on this upgrade, so yeah, we can call it a budget upgrade and call it 300.
Yeah, well then let's try to stay under 300 with it. And I mean, we've added in some really good stuff. I still think the deck is very strong.
So Suture Priest feels like one that could come out. This is like a lesser ability of what we were trying to do.
Instigator comes out for Young Pyromancer.
Yeah, sure. We can, since we need cuts, that's a good cut. Becomes tapped, it deals a damage to any target. I think that seems like small beans at this point.
Especially 1/1 for 3.
Yeah. You know, we're keeping things like blink something away, you know, when it becomes tapped to convoke or enters the battlefield. We do need, I mean, effects like this. Untap all creatures you control during each other player's untap step.
Seems good.
That's got stuff like that's got to be in there.
Someone also said Smothering Tithe. I mean, yeah, that Ristic Study, those are always cards that are just going to be generically good, you know?
We need 5 cuts.
Well, let's keep looking here.
Looking at our instance here. You know, if we're going to leave our convoke stuff, we don't really have, besides Grand Crescendo, we don't really have anything protecting our line. That's target creature.
Yeah, like a Teferi's Protection or something like that.
Yeah, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
How
many lands do we currently have?
37, 38, including that modal DFC we added down.
Okay. That seems like a fine spot to be.
We need 5 cuts. I think the Dragster could come out. It really is just like sort of secondarily
a fun playful thing to do.
Yeah. It feels like a secondary to our strategy sort of thing when we're looking at, you know, just creating tokens like crazy.
Sure.
Getting in.
This is something to consider. Like, our commander is a little bit top heavy. Do we need something like a Lightning Greaves to make sure that it is protected and that kind of thing?
Potentially, for sure. You know, with Convoke, recasting this thing ain't that difficult. And that second time that, you know, they remove Kazla and then it just comes right back the next turn by tapping our tokens. But you're right. I mean, second time it's 8, after that it's 10, and it just keeps going up.
Yeah.
Whenever it enters the battlefield, untap all creatures you control. Like, I feel like that could come out.
That was just a regular card in the deck, right? Yeah. I mean, when you look at it now, yeah, it could probably go.
What about Fallow Sage versus Bellringer? The battle seems like exactly what we want to do. I mean, when 3 mana, it creates 2 1/1s. That's already a pretty good rate on that. And then when it flips, it's giving all of our 9 creature spells that don't have convoke. And more importantly, the most important piece, in my opinion, is that at the beginning of your end step, you untap up to 4 creatures. So we can convoke stuff out and then untap and be ready to go for blocks if we need to. Or we can attack and then be ready to go for blocks.
Yeah.
But I'd also have to test battles, man. I don't really...
I mean, we would need to hit it for 4 before we get that other side of it.
That's true.
So, I don't know.
That's true. 4 more cuts. Sorceries, we got 7. 12, we got instants. So stuff like Talrand has got 19 targets to hit it. A lot of those targets create tokens or draw stuff, remove stuff.
Did we cut Elspeth? Yeah, we could cut Elspeth.
Goodbye, Elspeth.
Yeah, we'll cut Elspeth. That's fine.
Down to 3.
Someone said Jeskai Ascendancy.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Like Whirlwind of Thought.
You know what? Let's cut Shark Typhoon. I don't think we need it.
I think that's a good idea.
I don't think we need Shark Typhoon.
We're just going to straight up cut it. We're not going to put that in the maybe board.
Yeah, and that gives us a little budget on lands, too, when we want to do...
Two more cards that we need to cut. Oh yeah, Brave the Sands, ETBs. We're creating a lot of tokens. Purpose. I think that this is still obviously still good, but not super on our strategy. We're not going to be like storming off or anything. You know, we'd rather have cards like Felidar Retreat or Divine Visitation versus this enchantment, you know?
Yeah, I do think that card... It really could be good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Intruder Alarm is really good. That's true. That could probably come in.
We're down really tight here. Last cut is 12 instance. You know, at this point, I don't really want to cut any of our removal. 26 creatures.
We could probably, you know, I don't like that, or I don't mind that assessment on Impact Tremors. Only good here because it's a good card. It could be cut. I mean,
yeah, it's just the fact that it
Kraken
says
could
each
go?
opponent.
Yeah.
The
you think
fact that
Kraken could go?
Yeah. I honestly, for me, Kraken has always underperformed in decks that I've put it in.
Yeah, let's cut it. That's fine.
Okay, so that's 100 there.
All right, well let's tinker with lands. We got about $50 to play around with in lands. So let's cut wilds.
Yeah, cut evolving.
We'll cut a mountain. We'll cut a mountain. We'll cut a island. We'll cut a plains.
Yeah,
we'll cut 2 plains.
Yeah, let's go at. We got to look at our colors too, because we can look here. See, we got 60% is white here, so we should go, you know, 2 to 1 to 1.
Sure.
On our basics, let's look at.
That's fine.
Type land minus type basic sort EDHREC and see what we get on this.
Yeah, we'll get our steam vents. We'll get our sacred foundry. We'll get our
Scalding Tarn. That's only $18.
Yeah, if we could go Scalding Tarn. Definitely Hallowed Fountain, steam vents, and
Foundry.
Sacred Foundry. Yep.
I think that might be all of our budget right there as far as we're concerned there. 289. Yeah. Those
well, then we can add
expensive
one fetch land. There's got to be one fetch land we can add. Let's just do Arid Mesa. It's probably right around there, and then we can.
Booyah.
Yeah, there you go.
Type
It's
land
not bad.
minus type basic sort EDHREC. Are there any other utility lands, chat?
I always like, if we can add them, I always like adding in like a Forgotten Caves over a mountain because I can cycle it away, or a Lonely Shore over a island for the very same reason.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, these cards, before we even get down to that point, like if we weren't gonna do a budget on this one, all of the lands that say enters the battlefield tapped unless you have 2 or more opponents, you need to put those in there. I would also say the check lands are very playable in this. Island or Mountain comes into play untapped. You don't need Cavern. That falls into the same category as we talked about.
Yeah, Outpost is good. Den of the Bugbear, says Scott, and MTG Gaming Bub.
Den of the Bugbear.
Let's look at that one really quick.
You control 2 or more other lands. Yeah, whenever it attacks, it creates a 1/1, leaves the token behind. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Gonna push us a little more over our budget here, but
not a bad card.
What's a budget? So let's look back over
if
here.
We're like right around 300, that's fine. 300, 315, you know, that's not bad.
I could see that. 320. I could see that potentially happening. Type land.
325, 330.
Cycle. Oh, cycling. It doesn't say cycle on the card.
Come on, bro.
Okay, so we're talking about the 1-mana cyclers, right? Forgotten Cave.
Forgotten Cave, Lonely Sandbar. The only negative to those is they enter the battlefield tapped, but I don't care.
Secluded Step, and then we're going to run the Triome, right?
We should run the Triome. Why not?
340.
Especially
I can see that.
That's the target for our Arid Mesa.
320. I can see that. All right, so we have 44, 45 including.
Excuse me.
We're going to go 37, 38 including. Is that where we were at? Basically, we just got to cut 7 basics here.
Yeah, we just need to cut some basics. If any of those... Wait, let's see if any of those lands enter the battlefield tapped. Any of those non-basics.
We got
that are kind of poopy.
we got the temples.
No, we'll keep the temples. Those are fine.
Filter, shock. We added Rogue's Passage is medium in this deck, but it's fine.
Yeah.
2 or more basics. Ooh, these probably. Port Town enters the battlefield, reveal a plains or island from your hand. That's fine, but I don't like this. 2 or more basics. Because every time we cut a basic, this card gets worse.
That could go.
Monastery is is just a tri-land. This one creates tokens. Hallowed, Forgotten. Snarl is the reveal. Field is good. Exotic is always fine. That creates tokens, and then Command Tower. I think from there we just go basics down 6 cards.
Yeah, I would go 2 island, 2 mountain, 2 plains. It's 2/2/2.
Yep. Easy peasy. All right. So that's our first upgrade of this.
Not bad.
Probably want to dig in more as you go even crazier on this. You want to dig in more into token creators and token payoffs. You want to dig in more to maybe some protection if your meta is not really needing this much removal. Because, I mean, look at it. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4. We actually don't have that much removal. And then temporary removal. Maybe you don't end up liking Wand of the World Soul. I mean, maybe we have so much Convoke in here. This card is kind of medium. But it's really good in decks that don't have a lot of Convoke but create a lot of creature tokens.
Sure.
Let's do a little couple of rounds of playtesting this. See where we're at. So our first hand. Let's go to a better view for this.
First hand, we do have Skrelv's Hive, which isn't a bad card to find.
Excellent 2-drop there. We end up with a 3-drop that can destroy artifact and destroy enchantments, and then our huge enchantment. The big question is, are we super comfortable with 2 lands on this in this hand? But we'll just say that we kept it and we'll play it out, right?
Sure, why not?
So let's draw a card. Enters the battlefield tap unless we control a plains. We don't have a turn 1 play, so we'll just go ahead and do that. What do you say? Tap that. Next turn. We draw a card. We draw Benny Brax. We're going to go...
So here we go Hive.
Yeah, we go... Doesn't really matter. Montagna and then Hive for 2. Bop, bop. Next turn. We add a token. It is a Might. What is it?
That's right. It's a...
Phyrexian Might. There it is. Bam, ba, da, ba.
Okay, so now we could convoke Get Benny online if we wanted to.
Something I've just learned about mites, they are colorless. Not the hugest deal, but it can't help us with any of our color pips on anything. But it's like colorless mana. It's fine. Still really good, and it's going to create them passively, honestly. Yeah, Jake, I actually don't hate that at all. We just go Sky Cloud. Sure. We go tap, 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 tap. Benny Brax. End step, trigger, create a token this turn, which we did. We draw a card, we pass the turn. Pretty sweet.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. Next turn.
Oh, Skrelv does do 1 damage per turn. That is worth keeping in mind.
Next turn, we take a damage. We put a Phyrexian Might out. Booyah. We're at 2 for... Oh, man, that card is good. We're at 38. Den of the Bugbear. Skrelv's Hive. Bitter Blossom.
Oh, yeah.
Those cards are good.
Yeah, it's just a good card.
At this point, we can cast our commander.
I think this is the turn where we would go commander. We could have actually gone commander last turn, but I mean, this is pretty strong. We could go commander.
I don't think we had enough last turn because we had 3 lands and 1 token.
Next turn, we could convoke using our commander to get City on Fire out, which is pretty strong.
Oh, that's very true.
Oh, Den is tapped. Den is tapped.
Oh, enters the battlefield tap. That's fine. We don't even need it, right? Oh, no, we don't even need it. Because we got white, red, blue. We also tap. That's 3, 4, 5, 6. Kazla enters the battlefield. Flying Vigilance Haste. We're definitely attacking with her. So one person is at, only needs 3 more hits from her. will attack. She's got vigilance. She doesn't need to untap. EOT.
Or
Benny.
4 more, but still good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. EOT. Benny Brax draws us a card. We draw into a removal. Next turn. Untap. We lose a life. We create a might. So if you get turn 2 Skrull's Hive with this deck,
it just goes absolutely ham.
Yeah.
It's essentially creates you a bunch of mana rocks.
Yeah, kind of a fantastic turn 2 play, turns out. I
don't think we even need to goldfish more on this. Let's just run it back and start over and see what a new hand looks like.
So the problem is that we can convoke with her. So red. There we go.
And then you're online with that.
Yep. And then you're online. We have 5 more. So yeah, I just wanted to finish that goldfish out. 1, 2, 3 with the red, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the mites. And all the damage is tripled.
That's right. Buzzfuzz, good looking out. Assemble the Legion, big card for this deck. That was one that didn't make it in, and you're absolutely right. Assemble the Legion probably goes in here for sure.
So let's hit restart. Opening hand. Got Skrull's Hive in our opening hand, but we're gonna have to send this one back.
It's
Command Tower, Skrulls. This ain't where we want to be. We're just going to. Can I mulligan here? Let's just restart.
Shuffle. No, just shuffle. It says shuffle.
Shuffle.
There you go. Oh wait, never mind. That doesn't do anything. What am I talking about?
We have shuffled.
Fuck yeah.
Shuffling. Restart. Here we go. Much better hand. It is not.
No, it isn't.
Okay, so we would go down to 6 on this next one. Let's just do it. I shuffled. Let's restart. All right, so we would need to put 1 card on the bottom here. Probably Stoke the Flames, right?
Yeah. We don't think we need to removal.
Put to bottom of library. Okay. So
Port Town and say go.
Yeah, well, we draw a card first, and then we can Port Town, say go. Next turn. Now we're getting flooded out. Frostboil. Oof, say go. Next turn.
Okay. That's something to do at least.
Yeah, we get to give our creatures Vigi. And
pretty rough.
Each creature we control can do it. Next turn. Oh my god. Well, this is just a flood game.
Flood games here's the thing: happen. Is we do have removal.
Yeah.
So we'll get that thing out. Why not?
Drum Bellower. Well, it lets us cast our commander next turn.
Mm-hmm.
It's like ramping. Mm-hmm. So we tap the 3 for that, and then we go to our next turn. I still think we go commander here.
Yeah. I mean, we're not making a token, so commander's probably the way to go. Benny Brax, it would be like just sending them out to.
So we tap. This would attack, hit somebody. We untap this creature at our player, each other player's untap step, just as a note.
Yep.
Oh no. Oh yeah. And then we go next turn, draw a card. Now we're kind of getting in business here. Because we can go.
Felidar Retreat is a big deal because we could play that first, and then we could actually play our land, make a token.
We are on the
then we can convoke out Benny, and we're doing stuff.
Cat Beast.
And then tap 4.
So technically we could go to attacks here because everything has vigilance with Brave. So you could attack here if there's openings for whatever damage you want to get through. And then, like Jake said, second main, Benny Brax, 1, 2, 3.
Draw a card at the end step because we
draw a card at the end step, and we get to scry 2.
Oh, very
we convoked
important
with our Kazla here. So here we cast a spell with convoke, so we scry 2. So we'll just look at Forgotten Cave and Care Keep. I'd say bottom both of these, right?
Care Keep isn't a bad card for us.
Creates a token every single turn. Yeah.
We'll play off Felidar Retreat as well.
That's definitely a bottom one there, and then we can leave that one on top. Then we draw a card off of Kazla, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Scry 2, draw a card. And then EOT, we draw a card off Benny Brax. Okay, so we got kind of going there. You know, that's another one where, like, let's go next turn, just see what our next card is. So Source of Plowshares, now we're on, right?
Well, at this point now, what I would do is I would play Care Keep, and then I would put a token on everything. That's probably what I would elect to do off of Felidar Retreat.
Yeah.
I think at this point, you don't try to grow the board as much as you try to just make the stuff that's out there bigger. That's why that card is just so excellent, you know?
Right.
Like, as I think that's one of the big things about this deck that you'll want, that we saw in the first part of this that did well, was the Skrelv's Hive.
Right.
And now we see the Felidar Retreat. So I think one thing you'll really want to do is make sure that you have a good token generator that does something either passively at your upkeep or off of landfall, like we see here with the retreat.
Yeah.
I think that you want to have maybe 5 or 6 of those effects in the deck. Make sure that you can see one a game. Or
I like how quickly this deck can pull out of a tailspin if it gets a token creator going.
Yeah. I think I definitely think, and there are some really good token creators in white. We've even made videos about it. We have a token generation video of some of our favorite token generators. I think that that's a big thing in here, is because you want to be able to get to that commander early, because once you're able to start scrying off of the Convoke stuff, that's going to put you in a really good place. But
oh my God. Absolutely. I mean,
this doesn't look that bad.
No, it tested very well. You know, cards like this one's in standard right now. Somebody said it in chat. Claudio said it in chat. Wedding announcement. Beginning of your end step, put an invitation counter on it.
This card is so freaking annoying.
If you attack with 2 or more creatures this turn, you get to draw. Otherwise, you create a 1/1, and then if it gets 3 counters, you transform it into creatures you control, get +1/+1.
So good.
Which is just so good for us. So, like, I'm just going to add, no, I'm not going to add it to the main deck, so we don't have to make an adjustment, but I'm going to add it to Considering, just so it is in our Community Divine Convocation. That is the upgrade of this one.
And we'll make sure that that this deck is in the description of the video. I did see in some previous videos, people were like, hey, would you please put the decks you're talking about into the description? So we'll make sure that that happens so that you could take a look at the deck. You can look at the Considering and all that stuff too.
Let us know what you would change.
Add my suggestions to the Considering, says BuzzFuzz.
Oh, yeah, shocker. Skrelv's Hive is already in there, Matt Corrales. It's fantastic.
We should just put a Buzz's picks. We should, if BuzzFuzz is going to build a deck alongside, then what we'll do is we'll just put it in the description of the video, BuzzFuzz's deck, and you can just look at it there. Okay? BuzzFuzz, you're in charge of sending me the links. And if you send me anything else, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, so he's in trouble all the time. Where do you bulk at? Oh, here we go. Bulk edit to Considering. Okay, hang on. I can do this. Some of these are already in the deck.
Buzz's Brews, D-Hammer. There we go, baby.
Buzz, send me a clean list in your DM that I can copy paste. I'm going to be really particular about this. I'm going to go take a quick bio while he's doing that.
I'll do this thing. Oh, yeah. You go do that, and then I'll take one when you get back.
Yeah.
Then we'll do the next deck.
Yeah.
And we might go a little bit over, chat, but we want to make sure that we put the same due diligence into the next deck that we just did.
I don't mind hanging out with us, right?
If you are enjoying the stream, we will say this, we haven't said it in a while. Go ahead and click like and subscribe. That's a great way to support the channel. If you're just hanging out, thank you so much. If you're just like on the couch and you're like, look guys, I'm not subscribed, but I'm here to just watch and I'm having a good time, that's fine too. We do appreciate you very much. We do have 158 people watching. We're at 131 likes. If we could get to 169, I don't know if we could do it, but it would be amazing. Yeah, I'm actually really excited about how this is this set looks. I definitely want to open some of it. I'm gonna try to maybe do a pre-release this weekend. I think that would be a great time. Open some of those Multiverse Legends. And you know what? This is a card that's been on my mind a lot. Let's do the Ragavan price check-in. We're just gonna do this every single stream now that Ragavan just got a huge meaningful reprint. Let me take a look. Let's see where Ragavan is at today. Last I looked, I saw it for 65 was the lowest I saw on eBay. We're going to go ahead, price plus shipping lowest first. Let's see where it's at. It is at 58, chat. I'm seeing 58s. Set isn't even out yet. Keep that in mind. It's a pretty big deal. Seeing a lot of people starting to offload their extended versions. Okay, now this is crazy. Ragavan, Multiverse Legend, non-foil, $87.95.
What's $87.95?
We saw some of those pre-sale. We saw some of those pre-sell for 200 plus. I'm doing. You know what we're gonna do, Joel? For the next few streams, we're gonna do the Ragavan price check-in. Lowest price right now on Ragavan is 58 with $5 shipping, so about 63. And then the Multiverse Legends non-foil right now is currently at 87. So we're already seeing big adjustments on the monkey. My call again, 45. That's where I think Ragavan's price goes once a ton of this stuff starts getting open. I might be wrong, but we'll see. That's what my gut is telling me, is that it's going to get printed a lot, and we're going to see tons of copies. Remember, it's in draft boosters, it's in set boosters, it's in collector boosters. You can find it in all three products. All right, now I'm going to go take a quick bio while you get the next deck up, and I'll be right back.
We got Buzz's Considering added. We'll take a peek at those with Jake. Look at this. I've already got the next deck up. Heyo. Heyo. So who is it that was saying that these are the worst of the five? The worst precons of the five? I want to hear about that opinion. I haven't really explored these five yet. We were kind of saving the exploration of these, the time that we spent on these for this stream, and any that we have. Price check on Jold Lotus. I'm just gonna pull it up on Scryfall. 83.57 is what it says. Shout out everybody who was like, this is going to be a $20 card. Robo Rub says, I think, oh, its deck list is a bit weak. Are you talking about Orzhov? Everybody is saying that the Orzhov one is womp. Top one's Cavalry Charge because it's got Eminence. Yep, Zachariah, I completely agree. Having not looked at it or played it or anything, Eminence, wow. You get a passive ability as a player. Wow. Takes Teamer in a cool direction. Is that Tinker Time? I don't know this one at all. Like I said, I haven't really explored these. Took at it in visual grid, sort of by man of value. Gimbal. Gremlin Prodigy. Artifact creatures. I've been playing artifact creatures all year so far. My first deck of the year was Urza Chief Engineer. So I've been playing artifact creatures like crazy. But with that one, I needed small ones, right? Because he had affinity. So I needed a lot of small artifact creatures. I really didn't get to take advantage of big artifact creatures, which they have trample. We want them big, probably. And then, I didn't get to do a lot of non-creature artifacts with that deck because it just doesn't really play well with the synergy. Gives artifact creatures I control menace, you know? Right, Representative. That's what I'm saying. It's so focused on small artifact creatures. With that one, I also limited myself to only cards that are retro frame. And so it's got a little... It's a little bit lower power because it doesn't have full access to the entire card pool. But I love the deck. Having just an entire deck all in retro frame. I got it in clear sleeve so you can see the magic card back. That was my project for the beginning of the year. I'm kind of in between commander decks right now. I've got Gretchen going for League right now. We had to have an uncommon commander. And I built her to be... outlet for infinite mana so that you can draw your whole deck. get every land in your deck onto the battlefield, and then win with like Lab Maniac and activate her again, draw a card, win. That's basically the thought with her. But I'm not in love with the deck. I like to find ways, like themes around which I can build my commander decks. If I have a theme, I feel like I get passionate about it. But I've only built one commander deck really this year that I know will continue on. Like I've built Titch Willow and a couple of others with y'all especially, but this isn't going to be a deck I play. I'll probably end up giving this one away to our Discord.
Which one?
I built a Gretchen Titch Willow for this month of League. You have to choose an uncommon commander, infinites are legal, and your whole deck has to be under $250.
Okay.
And so I built her. The deck has a shit ton of infinite mana combos, and I built her as this draw your whole deck, put all your lands onto the battlefield outlet, and then win with something like Thassa's Oracle or Lab Maniac. It's fun, it's cool. Gotcha. It's just not really my thing. It's got a landfall sub theme because she puts lands onto the battlefield. But yeah, it is okay. Real quick, let's take a look at this and we'll swap over to Tinker time. So
sure.
Since he sent us the list, Stony Brook Schoolmaster, when it becomes tapped, you can put a 1/1 blue token into play. That actually seems fantastic for this deck, and I would definitely put that in. Enters the battlefield, you take initiative at the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, untap all creature you control, and if you completed a dungeon, untap all creatures you control. So untapping is fine. Wish that it made tokens. We know that one. Whenever you're attacked, if it's untapped, you may untap all creatures you control. Oh, that's very interesting. Reveille Squad's got some play. Plus, it's an Urza's Saga card, or what is that? Urza's
Prophecy.
Urza's Prophecy card.
No, it's not Urza's Prophecy. It's just Prophecy.
Oh, just Prophecy. Oh, yep. Shit. Yep. Then Rally the Troops is 1 mana.
I'm not saying that Urza hasn't had a prophecy or anything like that.
No. Rally of Wings. So a lot of like suddenly untap stuff. And then Jeskai Ascendancy, whenever you cast a non-creature, all your stuff gets prowess basically. And then non-creatures loot your stuff. The CTB
Jeskai Ascendancy allows us to kind of like play our whole hand. That's the vibe.
Right. Enters the battlefield, you create 2 1/1 green and white. Okay, so at least they're white. And then tap 3 untapped creatures you control, create a treasure token. That'd be cool to do like EOT if you have extra stuff. Wedding Announcement we know about. When enchanted creature deals combat damage to a player, sack it and attach Breath of Fury to a creature you control. If you do untap all creatures, and after this phase there's an additional untap. So this is like a victory card, right? You attack with your whole line, and then the thing gets through. This goes to another creature, you attack again. And then it just continues like that. And then obviously Assemble the Legion. I think Assemble the Legion is absolutely an include. So of these, the automatics for me are Stony Brook Schoolmaster and Assemble the Legion. We saw the power of a consistent token creator early with this deck. And so focus the build around that. You know, these are good suggestions though. I appreciate that. That is the Convocation upgrade for our community for right now though. We are 1 card over now somehow. So,
but you know what? I don't hate the idea of like a Buzz's Bruce being a small segment on the thing. If you're gonna always be building a deck alongside us, then yeah, we could just take a look at your picks at the end. I think what these videos will be helpful for is for people who are trying to get the deck in a starting place, because you might see something that we suggest that inspires you and it takes you in a different direction. And if this is a starting place and it's far away from where the deck ends up, that's great too. You know, very few Magic decks are the same, unless it's like CEDH, and then you don't really have a lot of stuff to pick.
This is another one that Buzz suggested. Augusta, Dean of Order. Other tap creatures you control get +1/+0. Untap creatures get +0/+1. Whenever you attack, untap each creature you control, then tap any number of creatures you control. So you get to kind of mess around with the untap tap kind of stuff.
Okay, I like that.
So that's that one. Here's the link for y'all.
That is that one. There's the link if you want it. And then that will also be in the description of the video. Joel, if you'll just send me that over the Discord, I'll put it in the description right now for anybody who wants to look.
I just typed it to you on Discord platforms.
Thank you.
All right. Jajam community. Here we go. Jam Community Tinker Time, March of the Machine Commander. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to go through the whole deck card by card. Some will, some are obvious and we'll skip over. Some we'll chop if it's not the strategy we want. Then we'll go back and make our adds. And we'll goldfish a little bit at the end and feel how it plays and see if there's any further fine-tuning we would suggest long-term.
That's right. That's right.
So, Jake, you want to read Gimbal Gremlin Prodigy to us here?
Well, hold on. Why don't you do it? Because I'm putting this in the description really quick right now for the Casba thing. Thank you.
Gimbal Gremlin Prodigy is red, blue, green, 2 other for a 4/4 Gremlin Artificer. It says artifact creatures you control have trample. So, makes me want to play big artifact creatures that don't already have trample.
Okie doke.
Also says at the beginning of your end step, you create a 0/0 red gremlin artifact creature token, put X +1/+1 counters on it. So we're placing +1/+1 counters. Any cards that are like when you place counters that are +1, place more. I also really love already Ozolith, obviously, cards like that.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you create at the beginning of your end step, you create the 0/0. You put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of differently named artifact tokens you control.
All right, so Gimbal is essentially this gremlin that is just surrounded by a ton of trinkets. That's
He's all over the place, right? Yeah. Well, artifact tokens too. So we got to create like food, treasure, clue is like off the rip what I'm thinking, and then we go from there.
Yep.
So
I can see that.
Gilded Goose, ETB's creative food. You can sack
really
food.
Quick. Before we jump in, let's just say this for anybody who's watching. If you see one of these cards in the video and you're like, why is it highlighted in red? The reason is because the card does not exist yet. It's a brand new card that is printed either in this or in the new set. Is that correct?
100%. Yep, that's exactly right.
Just making sure. So if you're watching this now and you're watching the playback, you're like, those cards weren't highlighted in red. Later on, it might be because in the future and now the cards are added on. So just wanted to clear that up.
Absolutely. Were there any other caveats you gave, since these will be 2 separate cuts potentially? Were there any other caveats you had in the first one that we would repeat right here?
No, just
you said something good at the beginning.
Take all these cuts with a grain of salt. We're going to be cutting cards based on what we think is going to be synergy, and we'll take community suggestions, and then we're also going to what was the one other thing that I said?
Is there some banging outside, or is Annie just doing something right now?
Annie's doing something right now.
No worries.
Yeah, she's cleaning, and I told her she could exist, but she was like just very loud there for me.
She was like, I will exist, but I am doing my hammering tonight.
That's right. No, it's all good. It's all good.
No, yeah, I'm just kidding. She's fine. I was just asking if it was the door. Yeah, so no, I think you should take these changes as religion. We're going to make the ultimate Tinker Time deck here, and if you disagree with us, you're wrong.
Oh, you know what? For the sake of these upgrade videos, we're not going way over the top as far as budget.
Yeah.
The last one that we just did came in at about $325, so we're going to try to keep that right around there. We'll say $350 is the absolute max on any of these decks.
Love that. Differently named artifact tokens you control. That is so interesting. Okay, Gilded Goose creates a food. I think off the rip it's fine. It can create more food. It's all about a different type of token being created. Academy Manufactor, this is just giving us extra value off our stuff. I think that this is exactly the kind of card we want to run in here.
Yeah.
This is the other type of effect I was thinking of, Jake, was Felden of the Third Path. It says create a token that's a copy of target creature card in your graveyard, except it's an artifact in addition. So this is creating named tokens that literally aren't going to be replicated anywhere on any card. So we get another +1 counter on it if we're copying things that aren't on the battlefield.
This to me seems like an auto include.
Yeah.
It's gonna get us, it's gonna play best with our general.
Hedron Detonator is a new card. Whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, it deals a damage to target opponent. Oh, wow. This plus Goblin Extortionist is so annoying. Tap, sack 2 artifacts. Exile the top card of your library. You can play that card this turn. Yeah, this is great. Turns your food tokens into impulse draw when you're like, don't need these food tokens, but I need cards.
Yeah.
Master of Ethereum. Power toughness equal to number of artifacts you control. That artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. This, to me, seems small beans in this deck in particular, just because we're trying to make these things so big and have trample. But an additional 1 is never bad, and it's an artifact creature.
I put it to considering. That for me is kind of medium. And we know that a big chunk of our budget is going to go toward a doubling season. I think a doubling season is kind of
hell yeah,
like important.
That's what I want to do is I want to dump counters. I want to dump counters on our artifact creatures, really. So the more artifact creatures we control, because remember, he is giving them all trample. So we can make the plan like create tokens, but put +1/+1 counters on artifact creatures. And he happens to also create them.
Matt, that's actually a good note for this deck. This might be the deck for Chief Engineer, where the last one was not.
Yeah. Pain Distributor is a new card. 3 mana for a menacing 2/3 Devil Citizen. Whenever a player casts their first spell each turn, they create a treasure token. Okay. Whenever an artifact an opponent controls is put into a graveyard, it deals a damage to that player. So it's giving them treasures, which I really don't like. But it does punish them. But is a treasure token worth a damage to them?
It gets a lot better with any sort of thing that's going to amplify that damage, but this for me is definitely worth heading to considering.
Yeah, this for me is a considering card too. I'm so biased against cards that give other people stuff if we're not directly playing that strategy. Tireless Provisioner is fantastic. It's landfall, create a food or treasure. Tireless Tracker, again, fantastic for this one in particular. Drop a land, create a clue. New card, Cutthroat Negotiator. Jake, you want to read this one? I'm taking a drink of water.
Sure. I'm also making notes from chat as well while you read. Cutthroat Negotiator, 1 red, 1 blue, and 2 other for 4/3. And it has, what is that, parlay? Whenever Cutthroat Negotiator attacks, each player reveals the top card of their library. For each non-land card revealed this way, you create a tap treasure token, then each player draws a card. So you're getting a lot of treasure, and then everybody's drawing. A little bit of group hug there at the end.
Yeah, gives them the card they revealed, basically.
You know,
you get the card too. I don't know if I love this or hate this. I either love this or hate it. I am not medium on this card at all. This is either.
I don't even know why this is in the deck, honestly. I feel like this could go as well.
It's just a new treasure creator.
Right.
This has to do with any tokens at all. Yeah. I think move to considering. I just don't like it.
Here's the thing, God, is that you're getting a ton of treasure if they're revealing a lot of non-land cards.
Oh yeah.
So you have to think about with the amount of treasure that you're getting and the card that you're getting.
You draw the card as well. Everybody goes up a card.
Everybody goes up a card, but you get like a horde of treasure. You have to think like.
But this is a massive ramp.
It is a massive ramp. Maybe that is worth thinking about.
The way I've always done these upgrade videos, Jake, is that if I am halfway, but it's a new card, I leave it in because
gotta play it, gotta try it. It's
a brand new card. There's some you can just be like, that's a definite no. But if you're medium and you're like, well, I'd have to see how it plays, that's exactly what you should do. Everquill Phoenix in here to make Mutate happen. 2 red, 2 other, 4/4/4. I'm just going to read this one because I know nobody read any of the Mutate cards back in the day. Flying, whenever this creature mutates, create a red artifact token named Feather with pay 1, sack the feather, return a Phoenix from your graveyard to the battlefield tap. So this is just about creating a feather token one time and increasing your passive count for your gimbal from 3, which you should be able to consistently hit with this deck. That should be the aim, is food, treasure, clue. And so it gives you a 4th one. It also can give something flying. I mean, it can mutate onto your Gremlin artifact creature token and give something flying. I'm kind of medium on this one.
Yeah.
This is great. PN Kieran enters the battlefield, creates 2 Thopters. We're automatically up. Thopters is another one we could look at to be a easy 4th type of token. Pay 3, sack an artifact, deals 2 to any target. Yeah, I think that's good for this.
I think one thing that we should definitely search on Scryfall is token, artifact, and just see how many different artifact tokens exist.
For sure.
Yeah.
Rashmi and Ragavan. Whenever you cast your first spell during each of your turns, exile the top card of opponent's library and create a treasure. Then you can cast the exile card without paying its mana cost. If it's a spell with mana value less than or equal to the number of artifacts you control. If you don't cast it, you can cast it. It's good.
It can stay.
Yeah, I think it's good. 4 mana for a trampling 4/4. New card. At the beginning of combat on your turn, bolster X, where X is the number of differently named artifact tokens you control. So it's the same strategy. And we get to put additional +1/+1 counters on the battlefield equal to the different number of artifact tokens we got. When it deals
good.
When this deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of target artifact that player controls. Whoa, this is very, 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 very good.
Well, that it works really well with the deck, and that just seems like a good way to go.
Yeah. Vidalcan Humiliator is a card I've cut a couple of times from different artifact decks, but whenever it attacks, if you control 3 or more artifacts, creatures your opponents control lose all abilities and have base power toughness 1/1 until end of turn. It's good. For some reason, I always end up cutting it because it itself has to do the attacking. But we're combining with red here. There's nothing to say that we can't give a little haste action coming in. What do you think of Vidalcan Humiliator?
I think chat is going ham with some really good suggestions.
Yeah, we're gonna do suggestions, chat. Hold them. We gotta get through the.
No, I just don't want to miss some of these. Like D Hammer has some good ones. Keto has some good ones. When it enters the battlefield, create 2. When it attacks, this is the Humiliator, right? That's what we're on.
Yeah.
When it attacks, if you control 3 or more artifacts, creatures you could your opponents control lose all abilities and have base power and toughness 1/1 until end of turn.
It's fine. It has to attack.
I think this card is fantastic with Pestilence. Holy shit.
For sure. Not gonna have black in this deck,
though. The fact that it does it to the whole team, no, but it could be in a Dimir deck that runs Pestilence because on the attack, after you attack, once the attack trigger happens, do Pestilence, clear their board, get through. This card is cool, man. Yeah. It's a cool card. I don't know.
I've ended up cutting it from 2 decks recently just because it has to attack and it always ends up kind of being that first card out. But I don't mind leaving it in here. We're definitely gonna have.
Oh yeah, Pyrohemia. That's a good. Yeah, that's a good card that would play nicely with it.
Yeah, there's a ton of red stuff that could. Yeah, that's actually really nice. Whirler Rogue.
Goblin. Sharpshooter plays well with that card too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it does. Whirler Rogue enters the battlefield, creates 2 Thopters, and you can tap 2 untapped artifacts you control to make a creature unblockable. It's everywhere we want to be. It's a fantastic card. Sharding Sphinx. Shards all over us. 4/4. Whenever an artifact creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you can create a 1/1 Thopter artifact creature token with flying.
It's just expensive for a flying 4/4.
Dude, this is another one I always end up cutting from these types of decks.
I would cut it.
I'm going to move it to considering. Shimmer Dragon, 4 more artifacts. It has hexproof. Tap 2 untapped artifacts you control. They can be summoning sick, and you draw a card. It's good. This has refilled my hand in multiple decks like this very quickly.
Sure.
Thopter Assembly with the new art. Is this art completely new? Oh no, it was in dual decks. First reprint since dual decks. I've never seen this art though. Beginning of your upkeep, if you control no Thopters, you return it, you create 5 Thopters. It's fine. I think there's better cards, but I think it's fine. Hellkite Igniter, Flyer, Haste, gets +X/+O, where X is the number of artifacts you control for 2 mana, and you can dump a lot into that. It's very expensive. Very expensive, but
it is very expensive, but it's essentially a win condition. I mean, you do a couple activations on that, and that could be the game.
Yep, 100%. The only thing with this one is that it doesn't come with trample, and our thing is giving artifact creatures trample. I'm actually shocked that they didn't include a couple of just big dumb artifact creatures in here that didn't have trample but get way better with trample. But they really focused on Gimble's gonna make the artifact tokens. You just need to put different types of tokens onto the battlefield around him.
There's the junk blinder that we put in the last deck.
Yep, it's good. It's a good card.
Mm-hmm.
Workshop Elders. Artifact creatures you control have flying is just like worth it by itself. It is 7 mana to cast this, but at the beginning of combat on your turn, you can turn a non-creature artifact into a 0/0 and put 4 counters on it. It's got flying as well. And it wouldn't have Summoning Sickness if it had already been in the battlefield. I think that's how that would work.
It seems okay.
Yeah. You want to move that to considering? This is one I end up cutting sometimes.
Yeah.
Just because it's 7. I end up cutting from the top of my stuff. Rise and Shine. This is all about the overload. Turn each non-creature artifact. This is a win condition card. This is 6 mana. I'm going to win the game this turn, or at least try really, really hard. Because all your treasures, all your foods, all your clues, all your thopters, all your...
It should all add up.
Well, not your thopters. It's non-creature artifacts, but that should be enough to kill everybody. 3 mana sorcery speed, destruction, create a treasure token. I think we can do better. It's only here because it's got that secondary synergy. We'll leave it for now. Root out, same kind of thing here. It's only on here because it also happens to create a token that's decent to the whole strategy.
It being sorcery speed kind of sucks.
Yeah. Create a treasure, create a clue. Fiery Confluence. This feels like they were like, we need some removal. What if we not reprint it in a while? Let's reprint Fiery Confluence.
Oh, well, that card also plays very nicely with the one blue wizard that we were just talking about.
We could turn this into a backdoor Vidalcan Humiliator deck, right?
Just that's the deck, dude. I think that's the deck.
In it and have a bunch of 1 damage creators and a bunch of creature tutors.
The deck is always get Vidalcan Humiliator.
Yeah,
always.
Dude. Worldly tutor for Vidalcan Humiliator pass.
Yes. Okay, well, clearly we know Worldly needs to go in here for
dude.
Vidalcan
If we're doing a backdoor Lieutenant style deck, we gotta have the Worldly tutor. Path of the Animist is a new card. 4 mana for search your library for up to 2 basics. Put them onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Then, starting with you, each player votes for Planeswalker Chaos. Oh, this is like the Planeswalker. Okay, so every deck is going to have some kind of voting chaos thing. So what we're doing for these viewer is we are going to take out the plane chase stuff. Put it in your sideboard, keep it alongside the deck. If y'all want to play plane chase, slot it back in for whatever card you want to take out. But for our purposes, we're going to upgrade these like we're just going to play Commander and not Plane Chase Commander. Echo Storm, whenever you cast it, copy it for each time you've cast your Commander from the command zone. And then create it. It's all about creating a token that's copy of target artifact. So you copy it for each time you've cast your Commander. So you should be casting this and creating 2 tokens minimum, right? If you cast your Commander once.
I'm really medium on this, dude. Really medium. I'm not a big fan. I do like duplicate, though. I just thought about that.
Copy of target artifact.
I mean, like, sure, it could target like a Soul Ring. What's nice is it adds to the gimbal thing.
Yeah, correct. That's got to be the only reason it's in here, right? Is because it adds to the gimbal thing, and you would think you've cast your Commander 1 time pretty much every single game, and so you get 2 tokens, you get 2 artifacts copied. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's not a new card. It's interesting in this strategy is what I'm saying. Fiery Confluence, are we keeping this in here? Destroy target artifact. You can choose the same mode more than once. Destroy 3 artifacts.
I don't think so. I don't like it very much.
It's just fine. Reverse Engineer has Improvise, which means we can tap artifacts for 1 colorless to cast this. It seems really good for this deck. That's always going to cast 2. It's like this card. I'm in love with this card. In these types of decks, dude, I've never cast this for more than 1 mana. And the same is going to be true of this. You're going to be able to tap food tokens or clue tokens or thopters or whatever. You can tap creature artifacts for this. And it's always going to be 2 blue, draw 3. It's fantastic. You're never going to hate seeing that. Artistry is like a better version of the card that we were looking at, huh? 6 mana, choose one or both, create a token that's a copy of target artifact, create a token that's a copy of target artifact of target creature. Oh wow, except it's an artifact in addition to its
This is definitely worth it. Yeah,
that's what we like.
Merchant Dockhand, that's a good card too.
Brass's Bounty, if you want to go crazy. 7 mana, create a bunch of treasures, 1 for each land you control. It's the fine kind of card.
Let's go back to that one again.
7 mana for each land you control, create a treasure token.
I would cut that. That seems like...
I'm with you, man. I feel like this is more low to the ground style deck where we want to be trying to create as many different types of tokens, and I think that'll come out when we goldfish it here in a second. Dance with Calamity is one of the new cards, and this is one of my favorite MTG cards that's ever been printed. It's like playing blackjack at the table. It's fantastic. 1 red, 7 others, shuffle your library. As many times as you choose, you can exile the top card of your library. If the total mana value of all the cards you've exiled is 13 or less, you can cast any number of spells from among those cards without paying their mana costs. This is just like high risk, high reward. Don't go over 13 or you don't get to do anything.
I think this is always going to do 2 cards between 2 and 3.
Yeah, I could see that.
Otherwise, it doesn't get played.
Well, land skip, because that doesn't add to the total mana value. So if you drop a land, you get to keep going.
But it's cast.
Right? But no, I'm saying it doesn't count against your exiled this way as 13 or less. You just get to go until you've hit as close as you want to get. You know,
and you may reveal, right? That's what it says. You may exile the top card of your library as many times as you choose. So you have to do it all at once, right?
No. You go card by card. I saw a bunch of people clarifying this card on Twitter.
Okay, so you go card by card.
It's just a fun card. It really does have nothing to do with the deck. It is a fun card. It's just a really fun card. I think that we cut it from this upgrade just to make this deck what we want it to be. But it is an interesting card. It's one of my favorite new cards.
Oh God, it is silly in a Cheerios deck. D-Hammer, that's really funny.
Oh wow, yeah. Reality Shift, top tier removal. Chaos Warp, top tier removal. Stroke of Genius, medium card draw. Vampires
move to considering.
Yeah.
That's definitely moved to considering.
Vampire's Vengeance deals 2 to each. Oh my God, another card that plays with Vidalcan Humiliator. Maybe Vidalcan Humiliator is the backdoor commander of this deck.
That's the card, bro. That's the card.
Blood tokens. Oh, dude, write down blood tokens. That's another. Lots of good options. Playables that create blood tokens. That's a good way to go for different types of cards, different types of tokens.
Okay.
2 damage to each non-vampire creature. I don't think this is where we want to be, but I do think I think this was put in here to be like, yo dog, go find some blood token cards. You who are upgrading this.
Yeah.
I think this goes to considering though. This is just fantastic in this deck. Return all non-token creatures to their owner's hands. Oh baby. Gimbel's creating an army and you're returning everything that's not your army. Counter target spell, create X treasure tokens. What do we think of this card, chat? Spell Swindle, yes or no on Spell Swindle?
I've always been kind of low on it because of how much it costs.
Is that Ragavan in the art? It is. I know
Probably.
This is the original art of the Spell Swindle. Yeah. But I've never noticed that Ragavan has been in the back there. I guess it could just be any monkey from that set. Any goblin.
Dude. I would cut this. I would rather have a better counter spell.
Agreed. Struggle deals damage to target creature equal to the number of lands you control, and then each player shuffles their graveyard into their library.
Cut it.
This must be a hose card. Sometimes, chat, you'll see this when you're looking, especially at a bigger group of precons. This is a 5 group with this set. You'll see cards like this where you're like, what is happening here? But what they've done is they put some hose cards against the other decks, and this is probably in here because each player shuffles their graveyard into their library might be effect they think they needed. But it's definitely a cut.
Check his price. Yeah, we just did it.
Masterful Replication is create 2 3/3 colorless golem artifact creature tokens or choose target artifact you control. Each other artifact you control becomes a copy of that artifact until end of turn.
This is instant speed.
Yeah.
6 power. I don't hate it.
I need to
and
make
it plays
sure.
with gimbal.
Differently named artifact tokens. Yeah, it does. It's not non-creature artifacts. Yeah, so
Yeah, it's artifact tokens. So
yeah,
the
that's
golems are
good.
nice.
The golems actually play, and that bottom one seems like you could get a lot of shenanigans. Jake, look!
The card made it. It creates a actually it's probably worth cutting. It doesn't create an artifact beast, it just creates a token beast.
Create a 4/4 green beast creature token.
It's not worth playing. I would cut it.
Creature tokens you control have flying for our big guys that Gimbal's creating. For just 2 mana. I mean, that's kind of the same thing we would go with Intangible Virtue, right?
I mean, it is kind of sexy because you can convert for 4 mana a
food
token into a 4/4. It is our preview card, which is really funny.
This was the very first card that we ever previewed on the channel. Was Modern Horizons 2 Combine Chrysalis. We gotta run it. Bloodforge Battle Axe. This is great. It creates tokens. It gets crazy. We put it on our
It creates a token that's named itself, so it plays with Gimbal.
Oh yeah. Soul Ring, Arcane, Combine. Fractured Power Stone is one we've been cutting. Like we've said, the planar stuff is stuff that we don't really care about. Signet. Artifact deck makes sense. Inspiring Statuary gives non-artifact spells we control improvise, so it lowers the cost. We'll see at the end. I mean, this is kind of like a medium one for me, but we'll see at the end how many non-artifact spells we actually have in the deck. We might want to not have, a lot of non-artifacts. Replicating Ring makes token copies of itself after 8 or more counters. I don't think this is really what we want to do.
You can go. I would rather pick something else that makes easier to create tokens.
So this is one that scales up with the game. It's a 3
this
mana.
This card definitely needs to be in here.
Yeah, 3 mana, add a mana of any color rock, or 6 mana, create 3 of these onto the battlefield.
Busted.
And they're tokens, so it plays with Gimbal. It's really good. This is the Planner Die card again. Move to sideboard.
Ooh, wait. Engineers. I think the Phyrexian Mites are artifacts.
Ooh. We're gonna search artifact token for sure. Enters the battlefield, destroy target permanent. This is for the copy shenanigans.
Yeah, it's for the copy shenanigans, and we're in colors that if we want to destroy target permanent, we could put a beast within in here, and we could do it for 3 instead of 7.
We'll move it to considering. Enchantments. Curse of Opulence is fantastic for this. It creates treasure tokens, but calls them something else. Love it.
Ooh, a gold token. Yeah, that's right.
Gear per Aether Grid. Tap 2 untapped artifacts you control. Deals 1 to any target. That's so good in this deck, dude. So good. All those food, all those clues, everything. Thopters. It all turns into little pingers. Imprison in the Moon is top tier removal. Weirding Wood enters the battlefield. You investigate. Enchanted Land has add 2 mana of any color. It's interesting ramping this way. Interesting going this route with ramp.
I would rather just play Cultivate, honestly, and just get 2 lands out of the deck.
Thopter Spiner.
That's probably what it's a fine card.
Yeah, this is fine in that deck. And then Aid from the Cow. 5 mana at the beginning of your end step. If a permanent you controlled left the battlefield, reveal the top card. If it's a permanent, you can put it onto the battlefield. Otherwise, you may put it on the bottom. We're going to be triggering this a lot because Revolt, we're going to be sacrificing tokens and stuff, but I still just don't like... I would rather have, like, Rishkar's Expertise and draw cards equal to a creature's power and play a free spell.
Right.
This is one where I get it, but I just don't like it. And then we got the lands. 38 lands is a fine number to build with here. Jake.
And we'll come back to those.
80 cards. We got 20 to play with. We'll revisit lands. You want to go through?
Yeah, let's go through some stuff
list?
first.
Yep.
Yeah, I wrote some stuff down.
Let's get it going.
Let's actually...
You want to search artifact tokens first?
Yeah, let's search artifact tokens, and then we'll go through...
We're going to search Oracle text for create artifact token. And we're going to sort it EDH track rank. We'll start there. Then we'll sort date to get the newer stuff in.
Yeah, so I mean, dockside seems like
Yeah, it's a bunch of our budget, but we can. I mean,
it is.
it's
We
absolutely
can cut
an
it if
include.
it seems like we could cut it if it seems like we're using up too much budget.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Stormkiln Artist. We cast a copy, an instant or sorcery. We create a treasure. Goldspan attacks or becomes the target. You create a treasure. I thought this deck already had Resculpt in it. Oh, it's got the other one. It's got the other one.
Wormcoil seems good. And it's not too much budget.
No.
It's got 2 tokens that are different.
That's exactly where I want to be. I mean, just in general, big artifact token creatures. Big artifact creatures. Because remember, y'all, it just gives all of our artifact creatures trample passively. And so a big dumper like Wormcoil Engine here, all of a sudden getting trample. Ooh, baby. A trampling Wormcoil Engine, which it looks like it should have anyway. Whatever.
Yeah, it seems good.
Mirror Battlesphere is actually one in here that I really like. It creates mirror tokens. It's a big attacker. Giving it trample is ridiculous. You can make it even bigger.
Yeah. It's definitely worth considering for sure.
Big dumper artifact creatures. Oh my god, a deck where we could arguably run Oko in it. Cast an artifact, you create a Thopter. Sai seems like we want him in here, right?
Yeah, we can at least put him in considering so we can look at him.
Yeah. Let's go.
What does Trading Post make?
Oh, dude, goat tokens. This is fucking perfect.
No, but they're not artifact. They need to be artifact.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they have to be an artifact token.
All right, ring we cut. This creates treasures whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped. I don't know that that's where we want to be. Loyal Apprentice creates a Thopter. Like this, if we have our commander, it creates a 1/1 Thopter with flying and it gains haste until end of turn. We don't care so much about the haste, but getting a free Thopter onto the battlefield if we've got our commander is not terrible. Saheeli is in this deck? We didn't even...
There you go. Mirrored and Besieged.
Yeah. Whenever you cast an artifact, create a 1/1 mirror.
Creates a mirror.
Yes, dude. Cast an instant or
Hangerback.
sorcery. This should be in here, right? Create an XX colorless construct. That's a token.
I would probably do that. Where X is that spell's mana value. Yeah. Seems good.
Urza's just obviously, y'all, ETBs, it creates a construct. It's different and it's big and it makes your artifacts tap for 1. I mean, this has got to go in there. It's just doing everything you want to do.
Hangerback creates Thopters.
Yep. Not terrible.
What does Gadrak create? Treasure?
Gadrak creates treasure. Yo, dude. Destroy target artifact, create Sapperlings. This is way better than that other destruction stuff
but
that we saw.
They're not artifacts.
Son of a bitch. I'm thinking
it has
so
to be an
token.
artifact token. Yeah, artifact token. Like Phyrexian Triniform, for example, might be worth it.
Yeah. Triplicate Titan. Dies, create
3/3 golem.
They're all golems, so it doesn't create 3 differently named ones.
Pretty expensive.
By Hammer of Perforos, turn our extra lands into an extra counter on all of our things.
Sack a land, put a 3/3 golem.
I don't think we should run that.
No.
Freyalise creates 1/1 green elf druid creature tokens that aren't artifacts. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield, if this is untapped, that creature's controller creates a 1/1 mirror artifact creature token. So at 2 mana, is that worth it for us, even though it gives them?
Non-token creature.
Everybody, they cast a non-token, they get a 1/1 mirror. Quantum, good to see you. Catch you. Adrix and Nev. Yeah, I mean, that's next, right? One. We don't have to go too deep down this list. I think we've... Okay, so Triniform, it creates golems. It's got Encore. It gets... it. Yeah, it's kind of eh. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature. Make? Karn makes constructs.
Karn makes constructs, that's right.
Not bad. Not bad. This creates 2/1 blue Phyrexian Mirror, so that's a different name. Beginning of combat on your turn.
Hornet Cannon. All right, let's cover some of chat's stuff. I know that chat has a ton of stuff that I've written down.
I want to talk about these two real fast, and then we can do that.
Okay, yeah.
Mirror works. Whenever a non-token artifact enters, you can pay 2 if you do create a token that's a copy of it. It's at 5, but it seems like it could be really strong. It's a possible cut. And then stolen identity. Create a token that's a copy of target artifact or creature. And then it has Cipher. Yeah, it's kind of medium. And then exile Mecha Titan and 4 other artifact creatures you control. No, that's not what we want. Okay, yeah, let's look at... Oh, this makes spawns. Sack a creature, put a charge counter on it, pay 1, remove 2 charge counters, create a 2/2 spawn artifact creature token.
Oh, that's a different one. That's different.
Different type of artifact token.
Yeah, let's put it in. We can even move it to considering.
Yeah. Let's start it in considering. All right. Chat suggestion time. Here we go.
All right, here. Let's do some stuff.
Yeah.
I saw Chief Engineer pop up.
Chief Engie. Artifact spells you cast have Convoke. I think it's good. We're going to be making a lot of like Thopters and stuff.
Right.
I think that it should go in and we can go cut it if we don't have enough artifact spells, because we're doing a lot of artifact token creation off of non-artifact spells. Something to consider though.
Yeah. Retrofitter.
Oh, Retrofitter is fantastic. Create servos. Servo artifact creature token for just 2. That's perfect.
Yep. I also had from Keto Dollhouse.
What kind of token does this create? Create a token that's a copy of the exiled creature from your graveyard, except it's a construct, and it gets +1/+1 for each construct you control.
Interesting. What do you think of it?
It gets better and better, but...
I mean, if you exile the worm coil from the yard and then it comes in, it still dies as a worm coil.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I think it could be really good. I think it could be good.
Anarchomancer.
Archaeomancer. Return an instant or sorcery from your graveyard to your hand.
No, I think the one on the other side. Archaeomender.
Oh, Archaeomender. Enters the battlefield, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, for 3 mana, that's actually not that bad. Again, I'm gonna put it in considering, because again, it's gonna depend on how many artifacts we're actually running in the deck. I know this is an artifact deck, but we've got a lot of non-artifacts making these artifacts right now.
All right, then we had Tamio's Journal.
Anarchomancer. Oh, each spell you cast that's red or green costs 1 less to cast. Yeah, I mean, it's generically good, but we really want to try and lean into our synergies here rather than just play like generically. Yeah, you should play these cards.
Electromancer was the other one from Keto, so Electromancer is going to do the same thing just for red and blue.
Yeah. They're good. Put them in there if you want, for sure.
Then we had Tamio's Journal.
Tamio's makes clues.
Yeah, it makes
at every
clues.
Upkeep, and you can sack 3 clues to search your library for a card. My problem with this card is always it's been 5 and it happens at the beginning of your upkeep, so you don't do until your upkeep. I'm medium on this one.
Okay, type in Tawnos.
I don't know. Oh, Tawnos is the older thing. Yeah, dude. Wait, which one? Toymaker or Urza's Apprentice?
Copy, target, activated, or trigger. Wait, hold on. Tawnos, go back. Toymaker.
Okay, so we gotta cast beasts or birds. We can copy them, except the copies and artifacts. So
no,
just not enough beasts or birds.
Then we had Pyrohemia. That was if we wanted to play along that one idea. Duplicant.
Duplicants, yeah, very generically good artifact creature. I think that plays well in this deck. It becomes a copy. Power, toughness, and creature types are the last creature card exiled with it, and it's still a shapeshifter. It's going to get trampled because of our commander, and we get to exile a creature when it ETBs. I think this is good for this deck.
It's not bad. Merchant Dockhand. Oh, it isn't a token, though.
That's
a duplicant.
True. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Let's just stick with this. Let's stick with the plan. I like that. Merchant stock hand. Pay 4. Tap it. Tap X untapped artifacts. Look at the top X cards of your library. Put one of them in your hand. The rest on the bottom of your library in any order.
Low to the ground.
Pay
Ability
4.
costs a little bit to do, but
yeah, it's like pay 4, tap it, draw a card. Oh, pay 4, tap it, tap an artifact, draw a card. But you can tap more artifacts and dig down for the specific thing you need.
If your board is loaded, yeah.
Well,
it's interesting.
That, and not only if your board is loaded, but you know, there've been many times in Commander games where I'm like, I just need a way to dig down and find my answer, or I'm using every resource I have to dig down into my library. It's got potential.
Hornet Cannon.
I saw some people in chat talking about Hornet Cannon. What is this? Pay 4. Pay 3, tap it, put a 1/1 colorless insect artifact creature token with flying and haste named Hornet. Destroy it at the beginning of the next end step.
Well, it plays with Gimbal. It is an artifact.
You could stack your
insect.
triggers because his ability triggers at the end step, and so does this to get rid of that token. But you can stack them so that it still sees the insect before the insect dies.
What I hate about this is we're paying 4 for it, and then we're
3.
paying 3 to use the ability
For a 1/1 that doesn't even have Death Touch. Like, I can't swing and get a guaranteed... Is it 7 mana for a 1/1? Yes, K-Spice, you read that correctly. What if I told you it has haste?
Sadly, I think that's a cut. Even though I do like that it makes a something that I haven't seen before. Other than that, I did have a note about blood tokens. So we should look at stuff that makes blood tokens.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Chat, also, I'll continue making notes if there's something that I missed.
K-Spice said, okay, we know the floor. Okay. So this is not where we want to be. We've only got 18
I would like something
results.
that's like a... Yeah.
6 mana. When it or another vampire enters the battlefield under your control, it fights up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. Whenever a creature dealt damage by Enforcer dies, create a blood token.
So it comes in, it's going to deal 6 to something, 4/6, and it creates a blood token.
Right.
I don't hate that, dude.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's not terrible. We'll put it in.
It does cost 6.
Yeah, but it's going to fight and kill one thing.
Saheeli. Saheeli, dude.
Saheeli's in there already.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Enters the battlefield, create a blood token for each opponent you have. Blood tokens you control are equipment in addition to their other types and have equipped creature gets +2/+0 and equip 2. Yeah, gives us something, gives us just a little insurance on that token type.
Yeah.
Gain control of a target creature. When it deals combat damage, create a blood token. That's pretty cool. +1/+0, +1/+0, and has whenever it deals combat damage, create a blood token.
I don't hate that.
Yeah, me either.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Deals combat damage to a player, create a blood token. Enters the battlefield, create 2 blood tokens for 5. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of it.
No, what does that artifact do? Enters the battlefield, creates a blood token, and you can sacrifice a blood token, and you can have it become a 3/3 vampire artifact creature token with haste until end of turn. So that actually works both ways.
Oh, wait, no, it does not a token creature. Artifact creature. Oh, but it doesn't need to be non-token. Jeez. Yeah, differently named artifacts you control is what it says, right?
Wait, let me read Gimbal one more time here. It reads, at the beginning of your end step, create a 0/0 red gremlin artifact creature token. Put X/1/1 counters on it, where X is the number of differently named artifact tokens you control.
Artifact tokens. Okay, so this
doesn't
work.
It doesn't work. Good catch. Good catch.
So I can't keep the order of those words in my mind. That's a good question. Representative Joint said, what clue generators do you have? And that's a good question because we are looking at blood, which is arguably a worse token type. So we can check on our clue token. Oh no, it's investigate, right? That's what we need to search for. Investigate. There we go. Okay. Ethereal Investigator ETBs investigate X times, where X is the number of opponents you have, and whenever you draw your second card, you create a 1/1 white spirit creature token, not an artifact. But 4 mana, 2/3 flyer that creates 3 clues max, 1 clue minimum. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you investigate. And then sack X clues, target opponent reveals top X cards. You can put a non-land permanent with mana value X or less from among them onto the battlefield. That actually seems pretty good. Non-token creature. I'm going to put this in considering. How many non-token creatures do we run, I wonder? Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, investigate. That seems good. Whenever you investigate for the first time, investigate additionally. I don't think we have enough to do that with.
No. Definitely not.
Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, investigate. Whenever you sack a clue, put a 1/1 onto the battlefield.
That's pretty good.
I hate that it's only... Let's put it in considering so we can go back through. But non-token creature, like our whole thing is trying to create... I just don't know how many creatures we have on the battle in the deck right now. We need to look. We cut this. We're not going to run a 5-mana counter spell, even though we do investigate 3 times. A lot of magnifying glass. It just says pay for investigate. Now, this is good. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, untap target creature, then investigate. That seems good. This is a reprint of the Stranger Things Secret Lair.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, untap target creature and investigate. Yeah, that has to be in there, right? We're going to be casting multiple spells on turns very, very often.
Ryan says Arterial Alchemy member for 4 months. Ryan, thank you so much.
Ryan.
Yeah, we'll check it out. Let's take a look at it. That's fine. Arterial Alchemy.
When this enters the battlefield, investigate. As long as you control a token, it gets +2/+0. Seems like small beans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're down as far as we want to be on these. Arterial Alchemy. We already got it in the deck. We're on the same page.
Oh, we did put that in, right? Okay.
All right, last couple of suggestions here, and then we're going to make some cuts, and then we're going to very quickly goldfish this, and then we'll go. When it deals combat damage to a player, create a 0/1 goblin construct. But it creates it under... Cool. Well, it creates it under that player's control. It doesn't help us.
Wait, hold on. Chat, what's that card from Zendikar back in the day that makes the 2 big artifact heads? What is that? Dude. What is the one? It makes like 6 12s. What was that card? Zendikar.
This is so good in this deck, dude. Each player creates a colorless artifact token named Banana. And then when Kibo attacks, defending player sacks an artifact. Whenever an artifact an opponent controls is put into a graveyard, you put a +1/+1 counter on each ape or monkey you control.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. It makes a banana. Yes. Tuk Tuk. No, it's not Tuk Tuk. Idol of Oblivion? Is that it? No, damn it. I'm going to find it myself.
Farid is potentially good. It's just we got to know how many artifacts we're running in there that aren't tokens. You know, you don't want to go counter to your own strategy, and we are making a lot of token artifacts, and Farid wants us to make non-tokens. But I do like that it creates an artifact token named Scrap. That is very good. Idol of Oblivion is an absolute include in this deck, if it's not already. Pay 2, you tap it, draw a card. If you've created a token this turn, you got to run it.
What is that? You have to find this card now.
What card are we wondering about?
It's a card from Zendikar, and it makes these 2 giant, like, artifact heads. And I have to remember what it is. I have to find it. I'm looking through the whole set right now.
I think we looked at Tuk Tuk, y'all. Oh, we got multiple Tuk Tuks. Here we go. When it dies, create Tuk Tuk to return a legendary 5/5 colorless goblin golem artifact creature token. Yeah. Creates a different token name.
Yeah. It's kind of fun.
Kind of fun.
Kind of fun.
I'm gonna see where we're at. Oh, we're at 97. We still need 3 more cards. Wow, I thought we were already gonna be cutting.
Why don't we put in some removal? Removal's always good. We did cut some stuff.
Yeah.
We should look at our cuts to inform what we should add.
We've got 22 in considering right now.
Yeah.
And then we've also got yeah. I haven't been putting stuff in the sideboard yet. What is I want to know what this card is that you have found.
Type in something like Stone Idol Trap and see if anything comes up.
Oh, that makes I remember this card.
Type in Trap.
Create a 6/12 colorless construct artifact creature token with trample onto the battlefield. Exile it at the beginning of your next end step.
It costs 1 less to cast. Oh no, it's lame.
Yeah, it's kind of medium.
Makes me sad. That's all right. I almost had an idea.
You have fantastic ideas all
I
of
almost
the
had one,
times.
dude.
All right, let's look at. Okay, so we did put some cards that we were like, yeah, never gonna happen. But that's the sideboard. Let's look at considering. We got room for 3 more cards. So Psy Master Thopterist. We are running.
We haven't looked at lands yet, but we'll probably do a similar thing with lands. Oh, doubling season. Did we want doubling season?
Oh yeah,
we didn't even type that one in, and we have the budget for it.
Double token. Is that a phrase that we should search? When it enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 green and blue. No. Put X counters on it. No. Whenever double the +1/+1 counters on it. Actually, that's really good for our. I mean, you play it for 3. Pay equip 2. When equipped creature attacks, double the number of +1 counters on it. All of our things enters with a ton of +1 counters already. Yeah, no, this isn't what we wanted to search.
You did add doubling season?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're at 269. We went from 180 to 269.
Okay.
Most of the budget resides here, ladies and gentlemen.
Fun fact, don't buy that before Commander Masters, please.
No, please do not.
And also, we should probably talk about that set someday.
Maybe Wednesday. Let me just make sure. Twice tokens. Here we go. If an effect would put 1 or more tokens onto the battlefield under your control, it puts twice of those tokens on the battlefield instead. That plays off our commander. That plays off all of our strategy. I mean, if 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead.
It seems good.
Seems good. If 1 or more tokens would be put onto your battlefield, twice that many of those tokens are put on the battlefield instead. And then if +1/+1 counters will be placed on a creature, twice that many counters are being placed instead.
I would cut one of them that doesn't have that second effect. So maybe Parallel Lives. That's very expensive, and then bring Primal Vigor in over it.
Okay.
If Primal Vigor is only doing 1/2 of it, then let's bring him. Or Parallel Lives is only doing 1/2, then we'll bring in Primal Vigor.
Same thing. Would you? Well, this and this is the same effect. So we should probably run the enchantment over the creature, right? It is a big budget difference.
Yeah, it is a big budget difference. So maybe
341. We're still good. And we're at 100
no, because we need to do the land upgrade really quick.
Yeah.
So I would cut for budget. We'll bring Adrix and Nev and
Adrix is going to be our budget version of Parallel Lives.
If you have Parallel Lives, then run that over Adrix.
Run it. Yeah, now we got $50 to work with here. Okay. So let's go.
Let's just cut. We know we're going to cut at least 2 of each of the basics, so we can just get rid of those right out the gate.
I mean those will all get adjusted. Evolving Wilds will cut. Terramorphic will ace. Do you want to run the bounce lands in here? Snarls reveal. Myriad Landscape. Search for up to 2. ETB's tapped. Game Trail is reveal. Same with Snarl. Frontier, yes.
Yeah, Unwinding Clock does seem good. Make a note. Because we can only do so much.
All right, we're cutting Simic Growth Chamber.
Okay, so let's get our 1 Triome. We'll get our Teamer Triome.
Yeah.
We'll get a fetch land. and then we'll bring in our shocks and let's see what that does for our budget.
Rogue's
We'll probably
Passage seems relevant in this deck because we're trying to make these big, beefy trample tokens. They do get
True.
trample, so I guess it's not super relevant. We could put Fabled Passage in these budget upgrades, Jake, as just a budget fetch land. It's
Yeah.
only $4.
Yeah.
We need to keep that in mind.
All right, so we should probably
Shocks.
run Stomping, Breeding, Steam Vents.
That's 30. That's $50. Those 3 shocks is $50. So just keep that in mind as you're building this deck, chat. If you want to spend the money on those shocks, do it. They're fantastic. You'll never regret having them, but that can be any lands until you figure it out.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the thing about the lands is you really do have to decide the budget that you're within. You know,
Right.
You could go all the way up to duels if you want. The land base is really where, because we live in such an age of reprints, that the land base is really where a lot of the money gets eaten up quickly. You know,
There's our
we
Ketria.
could cut the doubling season and then have a lot bigger, land package. You know,
Right.
we could do that. Yeah, but doubling season works so well with our commander. You really have to make the choice for yourself.
Things
Oh
like
yeah,
Spire
Togo
Garden.
creates rocks. That's right.
Oh,
That's so
that's
true.
That's an actual good call there. Oh look, we're back up to 100 on our lands already. Yeah, 38. We got there. We added the Triome. We added Fabled Passage. We added the 3 shocks. And I added Rockfall Vale, which is 2 or more other lands, which these are always just fantastic. Go find the others in that
Other
color as well.
lands that you can consider are the ones that are from Mirage as well,
Yeah.
which enter tapped and then fetch a specific land type, which will allow you to go grab your shocks. They're a little bit slower fetch lands, obviously, because they enter tapped, but if you're in a casual circle, those can be a really good workaround for not wanting to spend the money on fetch lands. But do keep in mind as well that Modern Horizons 2 absolutely nuked the price on all of the enemy fetch lands. So if you missed the boat on picking those up, you had such a long time, and I believe some of the prices of those are still very, very low. Vandal Blast is always good inclusion too.
I added Togo just because it's exactly where we want to be. It's creating that fourth type of artifact creature or artifact token. I think Chief
rock.
Engineer, artifact spells you cast have Convoke. I mean, we have
There aren't that many of them.
1, 2, 3
I think
there,
that could go.
and then we've got 14 here, so it's like less than
Oh.
20 hits.
Oh, well, that's kind of relevant. It's kind of relevant, but it could probably go, honestly.
Yeah, we need 1 cut. That gets us to 100. We're at 375, so we're about $25 over the budget, but honestly, cut 1 shock and you're there.
Or cut doubling season and then go ham on your mana base.
Right, seriously. You could also cut doubling season, which is almost $100. We're mostly blue. Look at that. We should reweigh just a little bit to blue on our basics, which we already are. So we're good.
Yeah. Not bad.
Let's take this into playtest and see where we're at.
Let's do it. For
Okay.
me, where I would tighten up before we playtest is I would definitely tighten up lands. That's probably, and that's just speaking as somebody who has all the shocks, who has all the fetches. That's where I would tighten up the deck the most. I would.
Did you want to brag about
really
having all
like
the shocks and fetches? Is that why you said that?
No, I'm just saying that what's nice about these decks is the main deck. If you watch the first cut that we just did for the Convoke deck, the main decks don't change very much. I would at least want to play those a couple times to see how the decks work
For sure.
before making any of these big cuts.
Yeah, and that's what
But
we really
the mana
recommend.
base is really like, if you want to tighten the deck, get it focused, get it like tuned up, I would definitely cut. Someone was saying they don't like the Scrylands. You could cut a lot of the tap stuff, make the deck faster right out the gate just by going ham on the mana base. So
I would probably keep this opening hand. We got Bloodforged Battle Axe, Rashmi and Ragavan, Wormcoil Engine, and then 4 lands. So we can go Steam Vents into play. Well, we'll draw our card first. Perplexing Test, it's our instant speed return. So this is like we hate seeing that on turn 2. I mean, on turn 1, honestly.
yeah, we don't have a lot of ramp spells, which is something to think about being in green too, is getting a couple like a Farseek, that kind of stuff.
So much of our synergies are with artifacts that I think they were intended. That's why all the signets are in here instead of, rampant growth and stuff like that.
Sure. They're like, look, just because it has green doesn't mean you need to use ramp.
Yeah.
Use some mana rocks this
Lean
time.
To synergies. Okay. Leans That's to fine. Synergies. Next turn, that comes into play tapped. Obviously, we wouldn't need the mana. Next turn, we draw a card. We have nice. We get a little removal going. Here, I think we stay open. Honestly, like this is irrelevant until we've got creatures on the battlefield. We don't want it to get aced. We'd rather stay open here. Let's say that somebody played a really sweaty creature and we were just like, all right, we're getting that out of here right now, so we went ahead and used that and we tapped our mana on our opponent's turn. So we go to our next turn, we get Metallurgic Summonings. Orchard comes down. We don't have a turn 3 play, unfortunately.
You could just get the axe out.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
mana
guess
efficient.
Yeah, I guess at this point we could
I mean, if they want to ace that with the removal,
we got a ton of artifacts in this deck that they're going to wish they had removed instead, so that's fine. I'm happy with that. Play that out just to do something. And then untap. We go to next turn. Retrofitter Foundry is a very interesting card here because we do need tokens for our... artifact creature token. Jake, it counts itself. I don't know why I haven't thought of that. But
yeah, it does.
You would need a +1/+1 at least. So 4/4s are going to be pretty much the base of these if we can get enough treasure food clue onto the battlefield. That's pretty cool. Here we just gotta go with Rashmi Ragavan here, right? Retrofitter Foundry is gonna start creating us servos immediately, which is relevant to our entire...
I mean, you could pay 1 and then stay up for the EOT to create a token with it if you wanted to go Foundry.
Yeah,
and then you could go... Yeah.
But are we gonna, like, this being a new card and it being a card that generates value over time, is this going to be a card that we either... I feel like this is a card where we have to make a choice right now because it's very possible that this gets stuck in our hand if we don't get it on the battlefield now.
It'll be hard to tell the power level of this card goldfishing the way we are.
Right.
We don't really know what we're going to get, but sure, play it like we'll play it as a 2/4.
Yeah, whenever you cast your first spell during each of your turns, exile the top card. I'm assuming that's not counting itself because it had to be on the battlefield and it's not seeing any spells being cast. You exile the top card and create a treasure token, then you can cast it. And then if you don't spend it, you can cast it. So it's out there now. We're good to go. We go to our next turn. We draw Stand Step War Riders. We don't have a ton of artifact tokens yet, so this isn't really where we want to be. We don't have a 5th land, which is a huge bummer here. Huge bummer. But you know what? When we cast a spell, we get to exile the top and create a treasure token. So like you said, we're not going to really exile the top. We can cast it. And we could just say we blanked this turn.
Sure.
We've got this open to play a servo. We could put the Bloodforged Battle Axe on a servo. We still got the mana to do that. Have a 3/1 blocker.
Yeah, it's types of tokens, yes.
Right. Yeah, it sucks we don't have any types of token. Well, now we know we would get a treasure, right? Because we cast a first spell with Rashmi and Ragavan on the battlefield.
Sure.
So we're back to 4 mana here. Yeah, I think that's the best we can do. Obviously, you're working with Mana Screw here, so you look at the next card, and it is not a land yet again. Yeah, and so that's how it would go if you're getting Mana Screwed.
Let's run it back. Let's start over.
Yep.
Let's run it. All right, we got 1 lander. All right, let's take our maul.
All right.
Better. The Tireless Tracker could get good. The dock side is nice.
but we're not necessarily going to want to play that on turn 2. And it's another one that's hard to tell, but I mean, this is a versus going to 6. I would probably keep this.
Yeah, sure. Let's run it.
Yeah, Zachariah, I agree. That last play test was running slow. That's kind of what we were feeling too. Let's run it. Draw a card. Oh, wow. Let's just play Exotic Orchard out and hope that we have an opponent that's got a red mana so that we can play our turn 1 Curse of Opulence. Whenever an enchanted player's attack, create a gold token. So we choose one of our opponents to just absolutely call out right at the beginning of the game. Next turn. This is going to enter tapped, unfortunately. But we are going to get to play
the Soul Ring.
Soul Ring, I guess.
I don't think anybody would have attacked. It's still very early.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't say we get anything off the curse.
No. Next turn. Oof. How many lands are we running in this? Like 38, right?
Yeah.
And we got Soul Ring and 3 Signets and Arcane Signet. Mana Rocks as well.
What does that one thing do? The idol? Draw a card, activate only.
Only if you created a token this turn. It's good. And it's what would probably save us here. But
let's say we dockside and we find two total.
Perfect. Well, let's do Soul Ring first then, right? So we can draw a card if we're going to dockside. Because we would only be docksiding if we can create at least 1 token. So we get an extra card draw off of it. So that's Soul Ring. And then we read 1 dockside. We got 2 treasures. We're just trying to pull out of a tailspin here. And so we just cast it, even though it's only 2. That's fine. EOT. We tap idle. We draw a card. Jesus. Go to untaps. Oh my god, we drew a land. Are we going to get out of this tailspin? Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Yeah, I think it...
Worm Coil is good, and then I would probably follow up with the General. I would probably, since Worm Coil is going to have, and the General's never going to attack, I would probably just go Worm here.
Yeah.
And say go.
So we got to go 1... We got to go 1, 2, 3, Soul Ring, 4, 5, and then sack a token.
Yep.
Worm Coil Engine. No token was created this turn. Whenever enchanted player is attacked, I mean, I guess we could just throw the Dockside Extortionist at whatever is targeted with Curse of Opulence. We get a gold token, and we don't really care too much. Let's just say it died. Whatever.
You know, Cross Storm, you play Tracker into land draw. Maybe so. Maybe Tracker does come down there instead of Worm Coil. I think that Worm Coil coming out isn't bad because even if it gets destroyed, we have 2 tokens left behind. So the Tireless Tracker, I mean, it's not a bad, play either.
Yeah, this was a really good play actually. Now, Dockside Extortionist swings at whoever Curse of Opulence. We get a gold token. We get to Idol of Oblivion because we did it. We got a token this turn. We draw Mirrorworks. I think this card can come out. Whenever another non-token artifact ETBs, you can pay 2, create a token that's a copy of it.
I mean, it would be, it does cost a lot, but like, yeah, if we'd played a Worm Coil after it and paid 2, we're getting double Worm Coil. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you could just play Mirrorworks and then play Tireless Tracker, get 2 Tireless Trackers, right?
Mirrorworks.
Oh no, non-token artifact. No, that needs to. Yeah, that can come out. That can come out.
It's not creating. Let's go next turn. Oh yay, we draw a land. So this is Commander, right? 1, 2, 3. We should go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sure.
Cast Commander. Swing Worm Coil. It's got Trample. We kind of want it to die at this point. We don't really care. Because now we're going to go to our instep. We're going to create this Gremlin 0/0. Look at the token. Aw.
Yep.
How cute is that?
There it is.
And then we put X +1 counters on it, where X is the number of differently named artifact tokens you control. So 1, 2, 3. Right?
Yep.
So
3.
we create a 3/3. But now
so you get 7 power for 5.
Yeah. I mean, you go to your next turn
And draw.
And draw. You got root out that you can play. Destroy an artifact or enchantment and an investigate, so that's a clue token. You know. So
I see how this could get kind of degenerate.
Yeah.
If you're able to protect the commander.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would definitely go probably like, the usual suspects, Swiftfoot Boots, Lightning Greaves, a couple things to make sure that Gimbal doesn't die once it comes out, because you never need to swing with it. It's just an amazing engine.
You're playing it like it's an enchantment and you want to protect it.
Exactly. And if you do land it with a doubling season, then you're just going to really be living the dream in a big way.
So
I see some people comparing it to Drafna, saying better.
Mirrorworks is one that I do not like in this. And then we can go into any of our considering stuff and just pull out whatever's going to make tokens. Probably Lonus,
yeah, we
right?
could even try. You could even try Dockhand. Dockhand didn't seem like it would have been a bad one. Yeah, Lonus as well is fine.
I like this low mana creates tokens, right? Because we just saw we want tokens on the battlefield, differently named ones.
Yeah,
and so the more kind of stuff that we have in that vein, the more hard they're gonna hit. So that's our 100 main deck, 375. Upgrade for
a little bit over, but if you did want to get under budget, you could cut the doubling season,
the shocks,
add a couple cheaper options in there.
Whichever way you want to go. Obviously, let us know down in the comments how you would build this. Kind of an interesting take on a little commander there. You got to jump through a lot of hoops to pull off its little thing, but could be good. Could be good.
It could be beef. Could be beef. I like it. I think it's a fun, interesting deck. It's a different kind of thing than what we've seen before. Gimbal does seem like if you protect it, it can get out of hand. But
38 lands.
It's kind of a narrow build. It's kind of specific what you have to do.
Oh yeah. Chat. It's 12:30 over here on the East Coast. I got to get up early in the morning. Oh, I'm off work tomorrow, Jake. We are taking Maddox to his first Braves game tomorrow.
Oh my God. Are you going to give him some baby earmuffs or something? Make sure his ears are protected and all that?
We got special infant earmuffs if he needs them. We got...
Nice.
It's not... I mean, he's too young to remember it, honestly. Maybe he'll remember vibes or something, but... It's going to be some cute pictures. This one's
could
for us.
pass him around the crowd and have him like crowd surf around. And...
Baby crowd surfing. We called ahead to make sure it was okay, and they were like totally cool with it.
Oh my God! Everybody baby crowd surfs. Not financial advice. That's definitely
top deck it. Top deck it. Baby crowd surfing.
Chop on little one, says LP. Yeah, and everybody look out for those Rays right now. If they get 3 more wins, they're going to be tied for. Best ever season start. I've been following those guys, and that's been a really fun one for me. I like anything that's I mean, and I was talking to Isaac a little bit about them too, Joel, that they're cheap ball club, and so it's fun to watch. So one of those cheap ones really pop off. So that's cool.
Yeah. Jake is hyper fixated on the Rays.
Yeah, just we gotta see some history be made. That's always a fun time. But no, this is yeah, that walk-off was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I gotta go. I'm gonna go look at Twitter as I go to bed and watch that one. I missed it since we started the stream, but that's it. That's it for us tonight. I hope y'all enjoyed.
We are gonna look at Wednesday or possibly Monday to finish these up. I know that people are excited. We might leave off the one that people were the least excited about. So maybe we just do 4 of these, make it a 2 and 2. I think that could work.
The Phyrexian one, people aren't super high on this one, right?
Sure.
Growing Threat. Well, it's Growing Threat or the Naya one that's using the backup mechanic.
Gotcha.
So it's like Phyrexian Tribal. I mean, looking at it based on views on Moxfield, they posted these 3 days ago. The most viewed is Cavalry Charge, and then Divine Convocation, and then Call for Backup, and then Tinker Time, and then Growing Threat, the black-white Orzhov one.
Gotcha.
So we'll definitely do Cavalry Charge and Call for Backup next.
Keto, thank you so much.
Yeah, if we don't do a topic stream on Wednesday, that's obviously what we'll do, but these might get bumped to Monday. We just got to discuss.
Yep. Thank you so much for hanging out. Look out for some new videos coming in the next few days.
I know he's gone,
it's gonna be a fun
but
time.
all hail the stream monarch, Quantum. Thank you very much. All those gifted subs, you're out of your mind. Everybody, love you. Bye-bye.
If you do end up picking up one of these decks, please use the TCG link in the description of the video. That affiliate link helps the channel out in a big way. So yeah, we'll catch you in the future.
Chop on, go Braves.